right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Torment of Anglesey, our Savage World / Call of Cthulhu game. We are joined tonight by Dave, Garrett, Aaron, and Andrea, who are playing erstwhile adventurers, investigators in the city of Boston. Now, Dave has volunteered to recap. Go.
All right. It's late Thursday, April 16th. We had 48 hours till the big Titus Club event. We had just collared some thugs, some muscle monkeys in suits, and we found out that they were sent by Hugh Diamond, who is a pretty high member of the underworld in Boston. He is the patron of Kittredge, who runs the Titus Club. They started observing us 3 to 4 days ago. They followed Elias, our interesting occult journalist, to us. They're supposed to be relieved tomorrow. So we ended up leaving them tied in an abandoned warehouse after pickup of Eddie.
With snacks.
Oh yes, we picked up Edward and we left them tied up and we left them with a sandwich. And they were pretty cheesed off at us. We took their car to the Titus Club. This is the bright green car with gold fenders, so totally a subtle vehicle. We left Miranda in the car as the rest of us went in. Renee went downstairs to sabotage the boiler so it would, brew up in a couple hours. Edward was investigating the downstairs, and myself, Obadiah, was waiting to ambush the German, who we expected would come downstairs when he heard weird sounds. Alas, the ambush didn't go as planned, and instead we were ambushed by cultists. I forget, they had like black kind of...
Yes, they were wearing some sort of crude blast masks.
So they ended up chaining the doors while we were inside and attempting to set fire to the place. So Edward ended up fighting on the ground level. Miranda was left to try and, distract anybody coming in, and instantaneously they tried to abduct her. Renee was coming out of the basement with his wine, which he ended up sacrificing. Tough sacrifice.
Baby.
And a gunfight broke out, which was going quite well for us right up until the dastardly German started taking long-range shots with his Mauser rifle at Miranda, who went down in a heap, screaming, and sort of stuck on the ground for a number of rounds. Eventually, the cultists and the German bottled out after losing a couple of the cultists, and they jumped into 2 cars, while most of the PCs jumped into the green car and started pursuing. Obadiah chased cultists straight into the car, and there was like classic Indiana Jones, like fist fight, gunfight in the car, knocking people out. However, Obadiah managed to, he decided to shoot the cultist who just wasn't driving up to snuff, and his gun misfired, and there was kind of a scene wipe as if they crashed and dropped off the chase. The rest of the PCs almost managed to run off the dastardly German's car, but just failed as time ran out, and so they were knocked off and peeled into an alley and drove off while the PCs got stuck in traffic. The one other notable thing is Obadiah, while investigating the upper story of the building where he had been sneaking around before to see if the German was still there, managed to find a document indicating where, quote-unquote, the lake house is. And Edward had found a flyer for the party, which was like, it's not at the Titus Club regular spot. It's at a new super secret rave location. Call your pager and find out where it is. So the leads are thin, and they're with Obadiah, who's been involved in a car crash. Over to you.
All right. I think the first thing we probably need to do now that the car chase is over, you still have some time to actually attempt to treat yourself for the wound that you've taken, unless somebody else wants to give that a shot.
I'm in a car crash.
Dr. Healy thyself.
I right now have my scarf around it.
Right, okay. So this is actually a healing check. Okay. You're wounded for 2 levels of damage in your leg, and the way this works is the difficulty is 4, and you get minuses to the difficulty for how deep the wound is. So the difficulty is going to be 6. However, you also have a penalty because of the fact that you're the person who's wounded.
That's the negative one.
Yes. So sorry, it's -1 wound. Yeah, so it's going to be 5, and you're going to be rolling. It'd be -1. However, one of your edges.
Doctor, +2.
Right. Okay.
I'm also attractive.
In this situation, not that much help.
Can Renee help? Assist?
Do you have healing?
No. That doesn't seem like
Hold this knife.
I'm
Let
gonna
me apply pressure to your thigh.
I'm going to suggest without healing. No, I don't think healing is possible.
You should totally help by being like,
I saw
that
that
doesn't
too.
look good. I saw a man die of that in the Great War.
Do they teach most soldiers basic?
-5, you said?
Yes,
First
you'll need a
aid?
5 total, but you're
World
-1
War
because you're.
I was also a
Can
pilot.
I add
So.
that to
Yes. So 4
That must
plus
be
7
like
minus
just-
1.
Something they
5,
must get
so
some
just-
kind of little
Yeah.
course these days, right?
All right.
Assume they would have basic.
So you reach in there with the forceps,
Special
pull out
training.
the bullet, and suture yourself closed, just like you've done many times in the war before. Okay. You'll have to wear perhaps more concealing skirts than normal because you have a pretty savage wound to your leg.
You just
One
need those ones
martini.
cut at an angle so it covers one leg.
Ooh,
There you go. Yeah.
Renee knows his women's fashion.
yes. Renee.
Renee, being the Frenchman, chimes in with some fashion help. All right. Now, were you damaged in your crash, or did you just run off the road?
Well, I blundered with the shot, and we were at the back end of the chase, and
Right.
so it was generally decided that bad things would happen as I dropped out of the chase.
Yeah, I think he just
Yeah,
he
it
went off
was,
the board and then we moved.
it was
on
sort of
with it.
hand wavy exactly what happened, but
Okay.
yeah,
So I could do this really hand wavy, and I could just draw a card to see how
I'm
bad it is.
totally happy with that.
Um,
If I die, I'll be slightly sad.
card draw, and he dies. All right. What I'm going to actually do is I'm actually going to have you roll the out of control roll for the card to see exactly what happens.
2d6?
It is 2d6, yes.
7. That's not
Okay.
exciting.
And I am really hoping that they publish this book soon so that I can actually have a written copy.
Oh,
Because-
totally.
Because I got to tell you, going through this PDF, I don't mind. Like the PDF is great if you're just reading cover to cover, but to actually flip back and forth for rules,
stuff,
etc. Yeah, it's a
I
pain.
hate PDFs.
They're trying to push that for Warhammer rule books. It's like I don't want to do that.
No. I think for setting books they're fine, or for adventures. But I think for the actual rules, you kind of need the book.
Yeah.
Vehicles. Here we go.
When did we play last?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Just like days ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what did
Wow.
you roll total?
7.
We can bit.
Yeah. 9 days ago.
9 days ago.
All right. So you, so it's actually you attempted to shoot him, but you failed because your gun didn't work, right?
Gun failed. My gun failed.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say is this is seven's a fairly minor incident. So I'm going to say that when your gun fails to detonate and kill him, he suddenly realizes you're about to kill him, and any intimidation you might have had over him suddenly disappears. And in the brief struggle with your surprise for your gun not working, you are thrown from the car.
Ah,
Okay, and other than some bumps and scrapes, you stand up, kind of dust yourself off, thinking,
Damn.
I'm gonna empty out the ammo and reload.
Okay. All right, so that puts us at late on Thursday night, the 17th of April, 1925. Tomorrow morning, the papers will tell you that the Titus Club burned to the ground due to some mysterious circumstances with the boiler exploding or something along that line. And
Those are pretty bad firemen if they can't tell the fire started from the front.
maybe they could tell the fire started from the front. This is 1925. Reports are pretty much whatever you want them to be, depending on how much money you have. All right, so I get 4 of these because there's 4 of you. All right, so what do you think your next step is?
Are we gonna hand wave reuniting?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
We'll probably turn back and try to find you.
Yeah, you'll probably find me like walking down the street.
So what was in? You said you found a
Yeah,
a
so
document?
I was thinking like after the crash, not quite a crash, but it'll be like, you know, I'm thrown out and I'm thrown loose and I'm like bleeding a little bit and I'm like, I'm like my pocket is ripped, so I don't have my handkerchief and I'm like,
Oh,
and I go to wipe my nose with like the all important map and then it's like, and I'll be walking with like blood like oozing down my face until you guys pick me up.
Okay. All right, you see a disgruntled Obadiah stalking up the street.
I'll make some witty comment about, oh, looks like he won.
So at
My
this,
gun misfired once already this evening, Renee. Don't make me check it again.
So what I'm going to say is it is now perhaps half an hour after you left the Titus Club. At this point, the conflagration is probably in full steam.
Glowing on the horizon.
However, you also left bodies outside of the building, right? Just a quick reminder.
Yeah, that's reasonably
They were
true.
trying to burn it down. Just leave them there.
Yeah, there would have been a bunch of evidence that there was something afoot there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, besides the
We
like
saved the building.
Mass
huge
kind of
number of like gunshots and stuff. Yeah, we probably want to kind of
distance ourselves.
ditch this car
Oh yeah, for sure.
and
Wait,
go
yeah.
lay low. So yeah, let's
We could just go park it at the warehouse where those guys were.
Oh, there you go.
in plain view.
Yeah. I mean, there's. It was their car.
No, not even hidden. Like
because they're not going to tell. They're,
on
they're
the
not
main
going to tell the
thoroughfare
cops.
in
Any
front of the
witnesses are
warehouse.
like, that was the
You're
car.
talking about the green sedan, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that car is also relatively expensive by comparison to the area of town, right? Down near the warehouse area, it's a pretty rough area. You don't think that car will be by itself for long.
Also got bullet holes and
Yeah,
a few scrapes along the side.
Yeah, it's probably
Missing a
okay.
fender.
Yeah.
You know, when you drive, it's like, whoa,
The
whoa,
roof
whoa.
died.
Did you just break my toy that I've had since childhood?
You know, I think we're attracting enough like heat from Diamond. I would be inclined to like drop it off out front of one of Diamond's establishments and just walk off.
I like that.
Okay. I'm going to fast forward about 6 hours. You guys return to your homes, get some sleep,
Clean up the brakes.
clean up, wipe the blood off, get a new trench coat, and then you guys can pick it up from the morning.
Yeah. Can I basically as soon as I get home, like before the night is over, like kind of load up my car with,
Shotgun.
yeah, shotgun, maybe like rope, some like blankets, like who knows what's going to happen now. We've seen some
Gotcha. So if you
shenanigans.
that's some canned food.
Not canned food, but like
Okay.
necessities, like something could go down.
Food's not a necessity.
Not for like going to a fight at a lake house or something.
Okay. Oh, fight at the lake house. Okay.
Well, who knows what's
Usually
going to happen?
hors d'oeuvres.
All right. So we'll meet up at the regular place we meet up, which is probably really stupid because like we've been followed for 3 or 4 days, so they know our patterns. But
it's our spot.
no, you know what? That's dumb. I'm gonna call you guys and be like, okay, we've been followed for 3 days. We're gonna meet at this new location. Try and break a tail, like go into a store and leave out the back before you meet up at this location. And we'll meet up at the new location.
Okay. So you call on the party lines that you all have for your super secret phone call. So there's a couple things you should recognize too, right? So it is 1925, right? Cell phones don't exist. So when guys don't show up for example, the guys who are following you, who you beat up and tied up, they'll be missed, but probably not right away, right?
Okay. And they were going to get relieved in the morning. So as long as we get a quick start in the morning, we're probably fine.
Right. That's kind of, I guess, what I
Okay.
was saying.
Yeah,
Plus,
yeah.
I would have to reestablish the tail. Where are we?
We'll meet up at the regular place. We'll sit down. We'll have a conversation. We'll look at the document we have because there hasn't been much time to look at this lake house thing.
How did we leave in the session before last? How did you guys leave your relationship with Elias? Was he like kind of in on the information goings on?
Yes. So Elias, I think what happened was there was a conversation where you basically said, okay, we need allies, and we're keeping all of our information from him, but let's not do that anymore. And you went to him and sort of had an open kimono kind of thing.
We protected our client, right?
Yes.
But we basically said like all this weird stuff's going on in the Titus Club. These are the things we took pictures of. Unfortunately, the pictures were terrible because it was pictures taken under Call of Cthulhu and not pictures taken under Savage Worlds. So he couldn't see that much. He told us about the Dark Pharaoh cult, and so he left rather suddenly when we went to go deal with
The thugs.
the thugs.
Right.
But I think we're on. And he also told us, I think he mentioned the Miskatonic University and said he had a contact there who's very interested in the bowl,
The urn thing,
whatever
yeah.
the proper name is for the bowl.
Okay.
The Ewer.
The
The
punch
ewer,
bowl.
yes, the ewer.
The punch bowl.
So I would say that as far as Elias is concerned, we probably would do well by
Filling
nicking
him
the
in.
ewer. And based on what you've reported, if we manage to nick the ewer, it's probably going to interfere with the ceremony. Is that important? Hard to say. It does sound like Angsley is very fed up with Kittredge, and there was like a yelling fight between them, but we don't know exactly where they're at. It probably would make sense to go head out to this lake house and observe it for a while and make plans based on our observations.
What if we talk to Elias? 'Cause he knew about the Titus Club stuff. Maybe he knows something about the lake house that Diamond owns or something. And
Yeah,
if you
with
know
Elias,
anything about
the challenge with Elias is that he's out investigating all the time. So last time you kind of got lucky finding him.
Oh, okay.
You know, absolutely you could. I'm just saying that.
There was something said about some lakes in the area. Was there a map or something that something was mentioned about 3 lakes in the area?
Right, so we found the flyer for the party saying it was at a lake house,
lake house.
but that didn't narrow things down because there's a number of lakes
Okay.
nearby. And then Obadiah found a clue that narrowed it down to exactly where it was.
Oh, okay, yeah. In the fire, right?
So
the
maybe
piece
then-
that he pulled out of the fire. Or something.
No.
I was upstairs.
Yeah.
The flyer was in the fire with an apology written on back, I guess, saying, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it." An old topographical survey of Lake Morgan from the Central Archives. So, fair bet it's at Lake Morgan,
Right.
and probably based on the size of the map, we can figure out how wide we need to search.
How easy would it be to find like a rifle?
To find a rifle?
Like purchase one?
Relatively easy, like a hunting rifle?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hi, I'd like a rifle.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty sure there's no
Yeah, it's
gun
right
laws
back
that I have to
where
worry
you
about.
go.
Yeah.
It's right back there behind
You
the
don't have
candy.
to
Yeah.
register it.
Well, I'm kind of thinking I don't like a German shooting me with a long range rifle. That
That irritated you.
it a little bit. As a pilot, I didn't like being shot at.
Yeah, go figure, right? So a hunting rifle is very easy to get a hold of. There are basically 2 types of rifles you can look at. This is the 1925, so a lot of the rifles that lawmen carry today are still repeaters from what you'd see in the Old West. Lever action, cylinder magazine kind of rifles. The other choice you have is a more full-bore hunting rifle. Like
I would want that.
Okay.
That feels more...
right,
I'd be more familiar with it with my background of
Right.
that type of rifle than...
Right. They do carry considerably less ammunition, but yeah, okay. So you go to find that?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a fairly common piece of equipment.
Scope, like, is there
Yeah, so you'll have to wait until the place Friday, right?
Thursday?
There's Friday.
Yes,
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll have to wait until the outfitter shops open at 10 a.m.
Oh my god.
But yes, you'll be able to find that relatively easy. That's actually
Imagine if it was Sunday.
yeah. Sunday you're done.
Sunday,
You're
we
breaking-
would have found another way to get it.
So that said, though, it is in order to find something, it is actually a common knowledge. It's +2 because it's a relatively easy object to find in America. America.
America.
Yeah.
9. Plus, 11, sorry.
So you have a collection of different gun stores that you could go to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So something like a box magazine Enfield or something along that line, or a Springfield rifle, all of those are relatively simple to find. Okay.
First thing in the morning, I want to start trying to track down Elias. See if I can
Okay.
find him about town.
So he's at the Hotel Royale,
Okay.
and I think probably that'd be the first place that you would go if you want to go there and check.
Yeah.
So basically, you guys get together and then all just split up. Now remember, you have no cell phones.
So let's say meet at lunch.
Yeah, and then
Honestly, I gotta go pick something up for us.
there's things to like.
Pick me up a
She
shotgun.
probably wants to like.
You knew exactly what I was
Did you see how bad was
Do
your?
you have a
intro?
preference?
Even like when it's healed,
One
how
that
bad
doesn't
is it?
jam.
What happened with my healing?
So with healing,
Put my
Savage Worlds
brass
is relatively
knuckles on.
forgiving in healing. As long as you make a healing check, basically any wounds that you heal, they are considered to be
I'll
gone.
find the non-jamming kind for
the
you.
way it, yeah, so you can get rid of that. The way it works, and we didn't do this
Sawed-off
because we were kind of
Sawed-off?
concluding the scene,
Yeah.
but it would actually convert the wound into a fatigue level.
I don't think
So
they
if you had
were
minus
legal
one
back
wound, you'd have minus
it's
one
probably
fatigue
a lot
level until you
easier.
rested. And then it's considered to be bandaged for an appropriate period of time, but that's more dramatic than anything else.
Okay, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll walk with a bit of a limp, but it's not actually impairing.
He wants me to pick him up a sawed-off shotgun too. When I go.
Okay, well, you can get a shotgun and then a hacksaw. Add shotgun to hacksaw to make.
Tape.
You can go buy like a coach gun, like a double barrel coach gun. Those are short.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I decided that we're not going to do money anymore, as in cash dollars. Well, first off, you had a credit rating previously. So you have what's known as a wealth stat in this game, and it's D6. You can put that in notes somewhere. When you get like a sum of money, it basically, you can add it to increase your die type temporarily or permanently, depending on what you have.
D6.
Yep. So shotgun and a rifle, those are going to be relatively easy to find. This will be a single expense for you. So if you want to roll, you do get a wild die with it. It is a trait. Okay.
What trait is it?
Wealth.
It's the wealth trait.
Oh, gotcha. Oh,
Okay. So table rule is both dice drop at the same time.
okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, if you roll one
Yeah.
off, good and bad,
Yeah.
right? So.
Didn't matter.
All right, so you managed to purchase the guns and 5 reloads of ammunition for each of them. However, your wealth stat is currently tapped to D4. Okay. So you kind of spent all the money that you do have.
All right.
All right, and so you pick up just a basic double-barreled shotgun. Do you get a hacksaw to go with that double-barreled shotgun?
How hard is it to keep this sort of like under a trench coat and vaguely hidden?
A double-barreled shotgun? It's a shotgun. It has a stock and it has
How
it has
long?
barrels.
The question is, how long is your trench coat?
Yeah.
So
And how tall are
How
you?
tall are you?
anything
Yeah, how long
down.
you going
I
down?
actually don't think I'm super tall, so yeah, probably a hacksaw would be good.
Okay.
I'll have at her.
So you can
Pistol grip.
There's two things. Yeah, so there's two things. You can cut off the stock, which means that it is concealable underneath your coat. It does reduce how easy it is to hit with.
So is it like a -2?
Well, normally a shotgun is +2. With the sawed-off stock, it's +1 instead.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you find yourself a Springfield 1907 with the basic hunting scope. That's what you can afford. It's a decent rifle.
You just really need no hunting rifle.
What's the
don't you?
damage?
Hunting rifle.
3, 2,
That's all
1?
you need to know. What?
Damage is 3, 2, 1?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
1 to 3d6.
Scope.
Okay.
Range.
10.
Rate of fire 1, I assume.
Yep.
Damage
2d8 plus 1.
2d8 plus 1. AP.
AP 2.
Ooh, weight doesn't matter. Ammo.
Ammo, it carries... So it'd be 7 rounds, so it'd carry 3 shots. 3 exchanges of gunfire.
3 exchanges. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have 7 loads or 5 loads.
5 loads, correct. So 3 in the rifle plus an extra couple.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just put it here.
Yep.
Actually, we'll do it like this.
Edward, looking up Elias.
Right. All right. You head to the Hotel Royale. Okay. The Hotel Royale, he has a suite upstairs. And you may or may not remember from the last time you visited, they are relatively particular about people coming in. When you ask after him, I'm going to need a persuasion check, please.
Okay. 5.
Okay. So you come in. There's a prim man behind the counter. Yes, one moment, please. If you care to wait in the lounge.
I'm okay. I'm gonna act like I'm kind of like.
It's also 8 a.m.
Yeah. I'm antsy.
Okay. Yes, there's a antsy gentleman here to see you. Your name?
Edward. I had to tell him I have some information for him.
Yes, sir. Edward. Yeah, you heard that? Okay, very good, sir. He said he'd be right down. He'll join you in the lounge.
Oh, perfect. 8 a.m. I'll go order a milk.
Okay.
Sarsaparilla.
Well, they are serving coffee and tea and early morning breakfast. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll sit down and order coffee.
All right. Sit down and order coffee. Elias joins you. He is dressed in some casual pants and a shirt and what can only be described as a silk dressing robe. Because it's a silk dressing robe, right?
Rah-rah.
So he comes out. He reaches in. God, man, it's early.
What's his hair look like?
His hair looks like, and not only that, he has kind of a peculiar scent about him.
I've been up all night doing coke.
His eyes are bloodshot. He looks exhausted.
Okay. I understand that it's early. I feel like I need to get some information to you quickly. Is this a safe place to talk? Can we talk here? Or should we go up to your suite?
My suite, unfortunately, is not empty.
Okay, so... let's think for a second. Okay, we need to talk, and I'd rather it's confidential. So, how about... where were we going to meet again? Just at lunch somewhere?
Yes.
I'm meeting our colleagues later for lunch. How about you stop by and I'll fill you in then.
I'm afraid my day is quite chalk. If you need something, now's your chance.
Okay, I'll slip under a napkin. I'll slip the piece of paper with the lake house thing on it and I'll slide it to him.
Okay. So he does something he's never done before. From underneath his silk dressing gown, he actually pulls a pair of glasses. You've never actually seen him wear the glasses before. Interesting. I wonder if this is the lake house out on Orchard or on Morgan Lake.
Morgan Lake.
Confirmation.
It's The Kittredge family has a place out there. They have for years. I've been out there. Not much really to see, but I actually assume that, since Papa Kittredge died, the place has been deserted. It's where he died.
And what's around the house? Is it like a
Nothing. Lake. It's a private lake. There's no one there. There's a small town nearby. Wentham, something like that. There's a great public house there called the Gavel.
public house?
That's where you drink.
The pub.
Not officially.
Now it's a tea house.
Oh, right.
Restaurants.
Is it full on? Yeah, it is total prohibition. Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
Although, in reading in Prohibition, for a country that was dry, they were relatively wet.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the information. Just be careful out there, okay? We had a bit of... I won't give too much away, but let's just say maybe if you head over to the
Look
Titus
at the
Club, you
front
might
page of
find
the
some
paper.
interesting goings on. I'd get there soon if I was you.
An encounter with a green card.
Okay.
And this is Saturday, this event?
No, we're Friday morning.
Yeah,
Oh, the
Friday.
event is Saturday. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
like running out of time here.
And with that, I'll just pop someone down for the check and
Okay.
shake his hand and
Right up.
be on my way.
Yeah, the way the well stat works, you don't even have to worry about the money. You just, it's fine.
I would like to, given that I have this topological map, I would like to try and figure out the best way to like kind of search the area and figure out what's there. Maybe I can solve other city archives, or I probably don't have time to go to more than one information dump, but I kind of want to like get a sense of the area
Okay.
and what the best way
Sounds
to
good.
search is.
That'll be
I'd like to do
research.
an aerial survey.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice with my drone.
I have a pilot with access to a plane.
Okay, he resents it when you call him a drone.
I'm employed. I'm not. They don't own me.
A Renee
Fine.
2000.
If you want to go see the stuffy building, we could just do a flyby.
Yeah, you'll mention that probably after I'm done, as you're handing me the gun, and I'll
All right.
grind my teeth.
Modify the gun. It's a repair roll.
Right.
So whoever... Okay, you'll do that for him.
You did destroy my car for me.
What are you doing for the morning?
I am resting and restocking the medical kit because
Okay.
One Benny will bump that up to 4, or you can reload or reroll.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's not. This is not a complex thing.
Oh, okay.
You're looking to see whether or not you botched.
It's actually super easy.
He says, having done it in real life.
Me and my
I'm
dad.
going to pick up a few supplies, a bit
Right.
of shopping. and
That's a
restock the
wealth
kit.
check. +1 because it's not that expensive of
Let's
stuff.
try
you're
rolling
after.
degree dice next time.
3 + 1 is 4. All right, you don't break the bank. You manage to restock your doctor's
We've
bag.
used a lot of bandages
Yes.
recently.
I'm just burning through all the bad rolls on these knockouts.
That's right. Yes. Okay, so you gained some more survey information for the area. Morgan Lake is relatively, it's not remote, but it is relatively private. There is only a single residence on the place. It's the Kittredge Estate. And from what you can see from the archives, from what you can see from the archives, it's basically a large lake house. The lake itself is actually quite large. The reason there aren't more houses on it is because the shoreline is actually quite wild. Like it's stony cliffs, etc. It's difficult to get access to. The other thing you pick up from newspaper articles is Kittredge in the 90s and the aughts hosted many large parties out there. It was a destination for the aristocracy of Boston before his death.
Cool.
Would Mason know about the house?
He might.
He would have probably been there. He said it was in the 90s that they used to last.
How long's he been employed with them, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's 25, and he is about 35.
So,
Yeah, probably not. I guess one question is like, Well, I guess we reunite,
Yeah.
right?
By the way, it is around a city called Rentham, or a town called Rentham. Town is kind of a generous term.
Village.
It's a corner, and the few houses that are sort of around that corner. The road itself, there is one road paved that heads up most of the way, but then the corner itself is actually a pair of unpaved roads, still dirt roads. This is the backwoods of Massachusetts. I'm just going to pause right here and say, in doing research about Massachusetts between 1900 to about 1945, there's some creepy crap that happened in Massachusetts during that time. I don't need to add Cthulhu.
In real life.
I could just do that stuff. So,
good to know. Well, it sounds like it's pretty wild. So I imagine we don't need to do like get a boat and do like an amphibious like approach. We could probably just like we have the topo map. We could probably drive up there, plus or minus ask people at Renton about it.
And just walk in.
We might be better off just driving up there, parking the car, wandering in, trying to check it out, and then if that doesn't go well, backtracking to Renton and see what we can find there. Because we're going to attract attention in Renton as soon as we're in there.
just make one small correction: it's Rentham.
Rentham.
We could call around town and see if there's, because it's on the fly. So there was a party specifically. It was obviously going to be
An event.
an event. If we called around and what's the best way to describe it? It's like try.
Did you keep the invite?
What's that?
Or did you leave it with Elias?
No, I would have taken it back.
You gave it to him.
Yeah. I guess I did. Like call around town to like, I don't know what party places there would be, and like try and book places and see if there are any of them are like, oh sorry, we're busy tonight or something like that. Like trying to sniff around to see if there's any
Like catering companies?
that would be going out there. You know,
okay.
like not to tell us that they would be going out there, but like, oh sorry, we're booked up tonight or something. Be like, oh,
Right. Okay.
We're not
So-
going to be able to sneak in.
No.
So there's a couple things. First off, Rentham is about 2 hours driving from Boston, so it's actually quite a distance.
Okay.
Right. So that said, it is, there's a very good, and there's towns between here and there.
Okay.
So I'll allow you to do an investigate roll. That's called networking. You can either use persuade and intimidate to do it, and it's basically hitting the streets and asking questions. If you have streetwise for underground stuff, it's +2. So
What was it? Oh, investigate.
How long will this take us?
a time period. It'll take you 4 hours till dinner time.
All right, so it's going to take us 2 hours to get to Rentham, plus however long to find the lake house.
Might be better.
This will be our last evening to possibly infiltrate the place and look around.
Might be better
So
to
the
just go to
question
the
is, could we
Maybe just
possibly find more useful information in Boston, or should we just hightail it over there?
I say we just go.
No, yeah, we should go then if it's
Okay.
that time. We can go check out the gavel. Maybe they might be supplying alcohol or something. Since it might be.
Find out when you get there, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll pile into your car.
Yeah.
Carl into the car.
The car.
Your car's way nicer than yours.
It is nicer car.
Oh, so I would
Set
like
fire to your
to.
plane now.
I believe I only had a pen light
Technically
before.
not.
Can
Yes.
I get a proper
Torch.
Yeah, absolutely.
proper light?
Go ahead and make a wealth check. Flashlights are relatively uncommon, so they're actually not inexpensive. So it's going to be +1 to your wealth check.
Okay.
Your wealth should be D6, not D4.
2, 6, sorry. Okay.
Yep, no problem. These are paper battery torches, right?
Paper battery.
Yeah. So the battery itself is actually a lead iodide battery, which is actually wrapped in paper.
Oh.
Right. Which means as soon as it gets wet, it's done.
Oh, okay.
So just FYI.
Don't drop it in the lake, Eddie.
Do my best.
There is a dimmer version, which is actually a capacitor, and you actually wind it up, and it actually shines for a while. What's that?
That's stealthy.
Yeah. I gotta burn the torch.
Well, okay, flashlight at nighttime generally isn't that stealthy anyhow. All right. I am going to... Jay, did you close the door when you came downstairs?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to... I'm going to make a common knowledge roll. Who's ever got the best common knowledge is the navigator and reading the map to get to Rentham.
D6.
D4.
It's you, sir.
I have. Hold on here. I have navigation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
So that'd be +1 to your skill roll. So go ahead and make common knowledge.
D4. D4 +1 is probably better than a D6.
Except I still got.
3.
All right.
I'm burning it.
It's supposed to take 2 hours. Okay? But the roads here are paved or remarked or closed. This is the back country, right? And you've just come out of winter, so a lot of the roads are not yet repaired. And eventually you actually have to snake around to the west in order to come in on one of the crossroads rather than coming directly up or coming down directly from the north. Okay? Eventually, though, you arrive at Grantham. However, by the time you do arrive, it's at least middle afternoon, getting on to late afternoon. Here at Grantham, as you arrive, there are a half dozen buildings. There is a general store. There is the Gavel public house, which looks to be relatively dilapidated. Without the legal sale of alcohol, what these people can probably offer is not probably that much. There's also a filling station outside of the Gavel. Okay, a variety of old Model T trucks and cars. This is the backwoods of Massachusetts. Okay. You see some people coming and going. One thing that does stand out to you, though, is there is a large, relatively modern-looking lorry that's packed with crates on the back, parked out front of the filling station. Okay, and as you arrive, you can see a half dozen men sort of coming out to the lorry, sort of making those gestures that tell you they've just eaten and they are satisfied with the food that they've eaten, right? Pulling on gloves and sort of looking to get back to work.
I'm going to tell Edward to keep driving, and we're going to put some sort of spiked board or something to try and like make these guys' tire get effed up.
Okay, so there are 4 roads, north, south, east, west.
Yep.
Which road are you going to booby trap?
Which road did we come in on?
What's that?
Which road did we come in on?
You came in on the west road.
So it wouldn't be the west road. That's how we got there.
Well, it looks like they've been here eating lunch for a while.
Well, we'll look at the topo map.
Which one?
Given that we have the topo map, we know where Rentham is, and we have a general idea of where the lake house is, so we'll try and do our best to, like, we can, like, compare the topo map with a road map, I assume. That's
Or I can get out and go up and see if I could chat them up and see where they're going.
Yeah, well, we're
Use my
like, you get out of the car.
Don't see many big lorries out in these parts. Where are you headed, fellas?
So do you keep driving, or do you pull over?
We can pull over, I guess, if that's...
We could try that first, and if they don't say anything, then we can try to pop
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's try
I'll go pull up to the
filling station?
Yeah, for the
Okay. Your car, after 3 hours of driving, is running dry.
Yeah. I'll go to fill up the car and let you guys look at the map.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have navigation. You look at the map. I'm going to go find, like... I'll, like, pop into the general store and buy a bag of nails and a hammer and, like, a piece of wood, right?
And buy the tools necessary to make a...
Absolutely, 100%.
I'll chit-chat with, like, as I go in to pay for my gas, I assume ahead of time, because it's...
Okay.
Whatever. I'll just be like, what's a fancy vehicle like that doing around these parts?
Well, your car is also relatively fancy.
Yeah.
Right? So as soon as you pull up to the filling station, this is the filling station where the gas was actually sort of in the bubble above the pump, right? And as you pull up, a fellow in overalls and a worn work chute, old work boots, comes out to actually fill up your car. Okay. You pop out and hustle over to the general store. You are hanging out with the car.
Studying the map.
Studying the map. Okay.
Yes, I was studying the map so that we would know which way to go.
Right. All right. So you...
What's the weather right now?
It's cloudy, raining. It's a sort of an uplands Massachusetts spring day.
Did I bring my Broly?
So you approach the car. Your raincoat sort of tucked up close around you, or approach to the truck. The gentlemen are... One fellow, he's wearing an old leather jacket. It looks maybe to be an old military jacket. He's just about to jump up into the driver's seat when you approach him.
Oh, I'm just going to say, this is the one I'm using my attractive.
Okay.
Oh, this is a bit of a brisk wind, isn't it? Don't see kind of a fancy lord like this out here very often.
Okay, so he's reaching out for the truck and he kind of turns. Go ahead and make a persuasion check. +1 for the attractive. Get those bad rolls out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, just
I'm
not
wet
warm
right
yet.
now.
Yeah.
So the drowned rat.
Your hair's plastered on your face.
Yeah, so you kind of approach him. You're being a little bit, what's the word I'm after? Obsequious. And he turns to you, and in sort of an even, flat voice, not with any menace or anything, he says, "Can I help you with something, ma'am?"
After I've said all that?
Yeah, well, you failed your roll.
I see.
You can say all that all you want. It came off as, wow, you don't see a truck like that out here very often.
Squeak.
Squeak.
It's kind of the shove off. Can I help you?
Yes. Just curious where you're going.
Well, I'm not really sure how that turned in to be your business at all, ma'am. So right now, he seems to be coolly neutral. You can push your luck if you like. He might turn hostile if you fail again,
Was it like roll it again, you mean?
if you like. But I'm just saying that there could be a consequence to not doing well.
Yeah, sure.
It's okay. We just have to defend your honor, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Brick-
probably
brick
paying
bats.
a little attention to this while I'm looking at the map.
Come on.
There you go.
6.
Let me try that again.
Yeah. Right? Oh, whoops! I dropped my keys.
Oh, yeah, I tried that. Totally.
Yeah. So he kind of he looks at you. The face is. It's that decision where it's like, okay, whatever. He turns to you and he says, well, he looks at the truck. You like trucks? It's not mine. They rented it for us when they had us bring all the stuff up.
Who's that?
It might be all the stuff from the.
It's some
Is there a party going on?
some fancy do fella
could be in there.
from Boston. Here, hold on for a second.
Maybe.
Are you lost, ma'am? Are you looking for the party? Is that where we're going here?
Stuff for the party.
Maybe.
Yes. Is it the lake house?
Is mine not obvious?
Yeah, these roads.
My husband is just, he won't look at the map for
As I
Yeah. So he opens the door and pulls out. He pulls it out. And he says, "Yeah, it's the Kittredge place. Do you know that? Yeah,
Yes, that's all.
yeah. Well, I don't think the party's tonight though. We're just setting up the tents and stuff.
Are we on the right road though? Which way is it? Can you point
Well, you
me
just
in the right direction?
just head east out of town, and the road isn't marked very well. There used to be a sign marker to lead up to the house, but I guess they haven't used this place for a while. So we're just doing some repairs and opening the building, and it's not really suitable for a lady such as yourself at this point, man.
I'm sure you're going to do a wonderful job fixing it all up. I'm excited to see the result.
He looks at his arm. Well, okay. Yeah.
Creepy woman.
Your husband's in the car.
He kind of looks at you and he's like, "Yeah, so that's you have a good time tomorrow night, ma'am." And he rubs his wedding ring quite vigorously. Okay.
Out of curiosity, I want to roll this navigation just to see if I actually find it on the map
I'll
myself.
go back and see if it compares.
There you go.
All right.
So
We have
8.
to go
So
east.
before she comes, like, oh, I found it. It's right here.
East Road. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How many men did you say there was?
There's a half dozen.
More looking for
And 2 of them fit sit in the
it's
cab,
over.
and 2 of them actually sort of under their jackets, sort of with their collars turned up. They actually jump up onto the back of the actual lorry itself. There is cargoes. There's boxes, and they're all covered with tarps, etc.
It's like an open back truck.
Yeah, it's basically a flatbed with sort of rails on the side, and it looks like you can actually see from here what looks to be large stretches of canvas.
Tents.
You would think so.
How's shopping go?
Yep, fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need some nails. Yep, here you go,
Hammer,
sir.
a board. Yeah,
I
we
need-
can reel that.
Yeah, we only sell nails by the pound. Well, I need like 10.
I'm
Well, you get
I'm
a pound of 10.
fine with a pound of nails.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just sprinkle the rest around in case.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
And a hammer.
I'll make idle conversation like, how's the early season treating you boys out here?
All right, persuasion, please. You up from Boston?
I sure am. Pretty tough drive getting up here. 11 and 8, 12.
Could you possibly get a harder to read dice?
No, I really can't. 15.
15. All right.
I'll just
He gives you
idly try not to steer the conversation, get information from him.
Right. Well, it's relatively easy. He's a general store guy, sort of at a crossroads. He doesn't get many people in, especially strangers. And he's actually curious about what's happening up at the old Kittredge place. He says, "So, from Boston, do you know Mr. Kittredge?"
I know of Mr. Kittredge, quite a social fellow in Boston.
Yeah. Are you up for the party?
Yeah, I imagine we'll pop by for the party. It's tomorrow night. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Well, yeah. Well, he's been hiring everybody around here to get the place in order and get the weeds cut back, and it seems like something that's going to be a big party, but not much planning.
It's kind of short notice, ain't it?
Well, yeah, but anyhow, so what you get is apparently somebody who represented Kittredge came up and said basically they're having a party, and he's basically hired every strong back in town to basically get the house ready.
So is that place swarming with locals?
Apparently, yes. Well, you deduce that you think there's probably quite a few people up there. He says, yeah, some of the boys from the lumberyard are up there, and it sounds like there's quite a few people up there.
The day before.
Would our dress stand out, like, compared to the other guys, quite a bit? Like,
Would
the
your
locals?
dress?
Like what we're wearing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wearing dungarees and work shirts, all of which are on sale right here in the general store.
I was just gonna say
That's-
I'll pick up some of that stuff for be like, doing a little bit of fixing up audit.
Here is the challenge you will face, though: Boston accent, French accent, English accent, and
I guess I'd be
civilized.
Educated
Upper
accent.
class,
Yeah.
elite.
What town are you from?
I was born in England.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, no, I was. No, yeah, I was born in England and we came back.
England.
Yeah, and then we came back to the States So.
Okay.
You've got a funny accent.
Yeah. So they would, if you were from Boston, they would not have assigned you to Boston. So just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll grab them. Gear for 4. And,
Okay. Quick check then. We'll check.
Well,
Yeah. There's no point in buying a set for Miranda because she won't blend in. All right. So your wealth die is currently tapped.
yeah.
Get off that rolls out.
Yeah. You buy yourself some dungarees, work boots, some canvas jackets. How much?
I'll give you.
Some flat caps. Yeah.
Chewing
The
gum.
price says
Yeah.
20, but he charges him 40 because they're out of town. And
I'll probably keep on adding stuff to make this guy keep talking, right? And I'll be like, "Oh, do you have a
Yeah.
gum?"
Yeah. All right.
Matches.
So you managed to find, you'll blend in by clothing, but for demeanor and personality. Also, these guys are probably all locals, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be from a distance in the dark.
Now that said, somebody up from Boston might not recognize the difference.
Right.
Okay. So with that, the truck sort of lumbers up onto the road and toodles away. You see the guy giving you sort of a furrowed brow look in the mirror as you... And then they drive away. All right. All of the guys on the back of the truck, they all tip their caps to you as they go away. Right.
they're not all married.
You have nice toothless grins.
Okay, we're a little far north for that particular description, but okay.
You said around the filling station there was a bunch of old pickup trucks and stuff?
Yeah, like Model Ts and cars, etc.
Like running condition trucks?
Oh yeah. You think that probably what happened was people came here
Yes.
and then through some sort of, like, they went off to work together someplace.
Right.
Who knows where that could be?
Because our car is also fairly suspicious.
Yes, it is.
We
Did
might...
you maybe need a switcheroo?
Yes.
How dark is it? It's not.
It's afternoon.
Is
It's
there a
raining.
boarding house in town?
There is a boarding there. If you ask that question to the general store, there is a boarding house just up the road. It's for mostly for the guys who work in the lumber yard. But he says, I'm sure Mrs. Grant probably has a few beds if you want to stay for the night. Not many folks stay up here. There's a hotel down the road, about 30 minutes or so.
Good to know. All right, I will report back to these guys
Okay.
and share all the information. So it sounds like attempting to sabotage the truck isn't going to amount to much. But if we got to this site late and got in some work clothes, we might be able to wander around the site.
Join a work
We can
crew.
even just get one of these trucks and load it up with lumber or something and go up there.
You'd have to steal it, but yeah.
Yeah. We got to find out what's going on up there. It's
Stealing, by the way, is a function of theft or repair. Either one will do the job.
Renee?
in the work clothes. I mean, we can get down somewhere.
All right. Here, let's drive out of town. I'll suit up and I'll go pick up a vehicle.
Because the boarding house is a little bit out of town, right?
Yeah, actually, you can see it from the filling station. It's maybe 500 yards up the road.
Do we want to stay at the boarding house or do we want to get a room at the hotel?
How far was the hotel?
Half an hour by car, he said.
That's a bit far, right?
Boarding house,
The boarding
we could
house
park
would be
our
like
car
the
and then go
workers
down at night and
staying
steal one of
there,
those
like-
trucks.
Get more information from workers too.
How far up the road is the place from where we are? Now that we know
It's about a 10-minute drive.
10-minute drive.
Yeah.
Why don't we drive up and do like a slow drive by and eyeball it and then get a spot at the boarding house and contemplate stealing a vehicle and getting
Yeah, plan our vehicle theft.
Right. Okay. So, around 4:30 or so, you arrive at the head of the driveway. You are perhaps 100 feet or so above the lake level, where the road passes the driveway, and you can see it winding down into the fairly dense trees here in Upper Massachusetts. The farther down, though, you can see a clearing, and then you can see where the trees look almost as if they've been planted to create like a tree tunnel along the road. And then finally, just peeking through the distance is a gray house with large gables. It's tough to make out more than that. There seems to be quite a bit of movement down there. There's a number of trucks and people moving. And now in the gloom of sort of this dark afternoon with all the rain, you can see they've lit some lanterns in order to continue their work. From the road, you can hear, yelling, hammering of nails. The truck, by the way, is down there. The one that you followed up here. It's down there already, and they seem to be unloading stuff. You can hear people, shouting out orders, etc. It sounds like organized chaos, and you would guess there's probably at least 20 to 30 men down there doing the work.
With our binoculars and that, we'd be able to see.
Yeah, it's not so much the distance; it's the trees.
Okay, yeah. I was just wondering, can we see guards and things like that? No.
You can see figures,
Okay.
but you can't really see if anybody's guarding the place.
How long would it take to walk in from the boarding house?
To walk here from the boarding house was 10 minutes by car, so maybe an hour.
Yeah.
But the road goes past the driveway, right?
Yes, absolutely, and it continues on.
Yeah.
Stash the car a little further.
You could
and-
drop 3 people off, stash the car just down a little way, and then go down, right?
Yeah. Why don't...
Actually, sorry, my apologies. There are a couple of cars actually parked up alongside the road here. Probably people who are working down there.
But our car would stick
Our
out.
car is suspicious. Yeah.
Okay, your car is not a Ferrari,
Yeah,
right?
but it's new.
It's not a work truck.
Yeah, it would be similar to driving a BMW when everybody else is driving a Ford,
Yeah.
right? So it's a nice car, but it's not
It's
a Ferrari.
It's notable.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
notable.
The Richies are here.
But then again, they're expecting people from Boston, so what I'm saying is that your character probably thinks, how suspicious would it be, right? It doesn't matter. As soon as you see the people, that's where the real suspicion's going to come in.
I think that if we stash the car and just sort of walk in through the woods and take up like watchful waiting for a while, because like I'm a PI, I do watchful waiting like all the time. So probably fallback is like watchful waiting, and then we run in and smash spells, right? Like enough with this waiting. So yeah, I'll propose that we set up a watch point, hide the car. We can walk out to the car and warm up. When it gets too cold, we can take shifts and
If the forest is that dense, we can probably be
Yeah, so the forest... Okay, so you claw your way down into the forest. I happen to have a map.
Huh.
So...
How prepared?
Yeah, I know, right? That's me. I love you guys, so...
We've made the right choice of where to go.
I have many maps.
I have no map. Okay, we don't want to be here.
Alright. And, sorry, I just need to turn off some stuff here so that it's not...
I figure once the amount of work starts to die down, that would be the time to like sneak in. Likely there's going to be people who stay on site, and we want to know kind
These
of...
guys are you, by the way, so don't worry about those.
See, I wondered, like, would these worker guys have been told to not be, like, are they going to be suspicious of anyone coming in, or they're just expecting a bunch of work people? Or
The workers probably wouldn't be. That's why I want to know if there was guard. Like,
yeah,
I assume there's some sort of on-site security to keep people.
Yeah,
they would probably be more. Who are you? Why are you?
So this is the road coming in, okay? And these are sort of these trees which have been, gardened to put there. They look to be... You can tell that no one's professionally gardened them for a while. There's a rise over here which actually gives you a really good vantage if you want to see it. There's also a forest right here that you can get to. This is sort of a rocky ridge upland, like as you're coming down the hill. This is the house itself, right? This appears to be a garage or maybe a converted stable. You would guess this is actually a servant's cottage out the back.
The butler's house.
And then down here you actually have a dock. There's some old boats there. And these are the tents that those guys are currently putting up.
If there's cars parked up the road kind of where like that we can see and stuff, they wouldn't be suspicious of people just walking down. There would have been people that just kind of walked down
absolutely.
the driveway to the place. So.
No, whatever's happening here, there's a lot of strangers coming and going. Unless you're recognized, you're not necessarily sure that anybody would actually even bat an eyebrow.
If we walk down the road with just like a ladder in our
well, that's
arms,
when we'll find out if
go
there's
anywhere.
guards or not, right?
So we may be recognized. We've both met the butler personally up close.
Right. Yeah, they've worked at the party.
But we didn't.
But you two haven't.
That's right.
Well, we don't know about you.
And
we
my
blacked out for 8 hours.
I've spent.
Yeah.
My voice wouldn't be too bad.
You're pregnant,
I
by
don't
the way.
think.
What?
You're pregnant, by the way.
Oh, good. Well,
Ew.
you wait a couple months before you share that with people,
Okay.
so I'm not going to tell anybody. I would propose that rather than just like the thing is, we can always choose an option where we're seen and wander around. Once you do that, it's a little bit hard to change the option, right? If we kind of come in on the rough area,
On the right or the left?
well, I was thinking on the.
Right on the rise.
I think people are less likely to go through the rough area, right?
So for, what's our objective of getting into the house? Because there's a party happening
Tomorrow.
Are we trying to find the bowl?
So yeah,
Or
final objective. It's a little bit hard. Like on one hand, it's like it would be nice to just screw up the party by stealing the bowl. We know Elias wants the bowl. That would be helpful. At the end of the day, our client Mason, our friend Mason, has asked us to sort out this business because
he's
Addison-
worried about Harper, right?
Harper.
No, Addison.
Addison. Harper's is the girlfriend.
Oh, right.
Right. So
So we're trying to disrupt the ritual. Is that's the
Well, you're not really sure that the ritual has anything to do with Addison.
We're just trying to disrupt the party.
Yeah. You've become involved in this, and you've taken it upon yourself to make sure that something doesn't happen.
So yeah, before we start moving in the house, I think we should figure out what there is to do in there. Like what kind of information we're trying to gather, or what's the deal? Are we trying to be in there while the party happens? That kind of thing.
Well, that would be good too. But so I think primary objective would be take the ewer, take the items that Elias identified as being of great interest that I took pictures of.
Mm-hmm.
If we can manage to engage with Kittredge, the question is, would we? Like, if he was by himself, would we grab Kittredge and demand answers in some way?
Right.
I don't know that we would, right? Like,
Butler.
how can we help? How can we help Mason? How
Yeah.
can we help Addison?
I think disrupting the party is definitely the first thing, like getting that done. So we need to figure out a way to not just get in the house, but get stuff out of the house unnoticed. So some kind of vehicle that we could use at the house to get out of there. So maybe try if we set up on the ridge, we can try and see if there's maybe there, because the house has been abandoned for some time. Maybe they're taking scrap
Less
out
abandoned
or
and
something.
more shut down.
Okay.
So possible the stables on the right may
Yeah.
have a vehicle in them. Also the boats. You could investigate the boats as a means of leaving. I think just having a sense of who's where, what's in the various buildings, what's the layout, and some idle theft if necessary. Like, how about this? If we ran into Kittredge, and
He disappears.
if we were in a
It
position
disrupts
to,
the whole thing.
it's true, we could black bag Kittredge
Sure, that's
and
what
take
we
him
do.
for a drive and be like, listen, buddy, like, you made certain promises about, like, I mean, like, do we even want to bring up Addison, right? Because
No, because we don't want to implicate.
You said it's like 11 o'clock at night at this point, right?
No, by the time you get out
Different
here,
time.
it's almost about 5.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Yeah.
dark because it's
And there'd still be some work to do tomorrow before the party.
You would think so. It doesn't sound like they're slowing down. In fact, as you guys are kind of pulled up here talking about what to do, a truck actually pulls up, and on the back there are several large containers, which probably are food containers.
I think
They wave congenially at you. Okay. One of them, actually, they'll stop, and then a woman, a matronly woman, probably about 60 or so, gets out of the car. She kind of, and she walks over to your car.
Is she the lady who hired us?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
I'll step out.
She says, hello, folks. I'm just taking supper down. If you're you don't want to miss it if you haven't eaten. It's plain food, but it's hearty.
Mighty obliged. Yeah, I'm just grabbing my work clothes. I'll be down momentarily. You need a hand with any of that?
No. My husband and I, we have it. Anyhow, so she turns and says, "Well, g'day, folks," and she hops back in the truck and it toodles down the driveway.
Fuck, nobody knows anybody here.
no. We should just head. Just get the car.
As far as they
started.
know, they could have hired us from Boston to come in. Right?
How big's the electric lamp?
Electric lamp.
They just had a little lantern to it.
The one that he got.
Oh,
No,
the
it's just
torch.
like a flashlight.
It's flashing.
How many lumens?
So how about this?
It's like, aircraft.
Why don't you guys could sneak through the woods and we'll know roughly where you are, and when it's a good point, we'll just like flash some sort of like
Yeah.
code to come out, right?
Everybody here is using kerosene lamps. Right, there are no other electrics down here.
So
And there's no telephone wire and there's no electric wire running here.
So flash. Like, you guys will know it's us, right? And we'll know in the general direction which to point.
Yeah.
We'll dress up in work clothes. You won't be in work clothes, but it's,
No, yeah, that's fine. I think, I'd stay up on the ridge and look around the property then. I think my idea is to maybe bring some gardening tools tomorrow so I can like walk around the property and
trim bushes.
and get a lay of the land kind of thing.
Shall we walk
Sounds
down
like
there
a
right
good
now
idea.
and schmooze for dinner? And
I think I'll stay back on the hill and look out and keep trying
I'm
to keep
heading down
tabs
there.
and stuff from the
Okay.
property.
Dungaree's on. I'll head down there. I got my bag of nails and a hammer.
I'll switch into the work clothes though.
Okay, how about you?
Yeah, I'll switch into work clothes.
And go down, or
Yeah.
okay? Yourself?
I'm on watch. I'm going to be watching.
Okay.
I'll go.
I'm happy to sit up and watch, but I'm also happy to go right down there too.
Is it
I
easy
can
to
be
conceal
back.
my pistol in the work clothes?
Yeah, it's they're coveralls,
Okay.
right? So
Might have to.
Yeah.
well, plus
Sono
you also
shotgun.
got canvas work jackets,
Yeah.
right?
Would I have like a no? I wouldn't have a boot holster like a this is a 38. It would be just quite small.
The 38's actually a full size double action
Is it?
revolver.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. If you want like a police special or
Yeah,
snub
that's-
nose,
yeah.
that's not what you have.
Yeah. Okay.
Like this scenario of
Would
the
you like a
Grinch
Derringer?
running through my head. He's going to steal all the Christmas stuff so the
Tiny
party
little-
doesn't happen, but it happened anyway, even if we take all the stuff.
Just load it all on
What
the
is
truck
that
overnight.
sound?
They were singing all the same. It came just the same.
Is that chanting I hear?
Without the humor?
All right, so you guys head down towards the gang of men who are set up out front. They're all dressed relatively the same. About the only thing they have in common is they all look to be fairly brawny. Okay, they are definitely, they're work folk. They wear a variety of different colored dungarees and different, in different form, different levels of wear. A basic canvas jacket. Pretty much you are invisible amongst them. Okay, you are working class folks amongst these people. As soon as you arrive at the crowd, you also hear them say, "Oh yeah, you're up from Ladner? Yeah, we're just down from, right?
Nobody knows nobody.
Yeah. So it's obvious that there's a few locals here, right? It's like, yeah, is there a place where you can get some tea in town?" It's like, wow, if you go to the gavel, blah blah blah, right? So
Ask for your tea in a pot.
What kind of heating would the cottage have? Like,
What's that?
What kind of heating would the cottage use? Would it be a boiler style? Would it be,
Never again. It's never
would,
a
no,
boiler
would it be
again.
No, it's
it's
no,
never a boiler. No, this house is rustic. It is. They are fireplaces.
fireplace. Okay.
Yeah. This is more of a gigantic cabin on the lake
That's right.
rather than an actual.
I was looking more for an excuse to getting into the house.
Yeah, there are men splitting wood, and you can see them carrying into the house. The doors are open, by the way, on the house, wide open, and there are people carrying stuff in and out of the house. Men carrying stuff in and out. There are no women here. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll go for food first,
All right.
and
Oh,
start,
yeah,
start
meat
just
roll.
chatting with people.
All right. So, where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
All right. I'm going to make persuasion rolls for you to sort of blend in.
Both of us.
Anybody who's there and talking. Anybody who's there to blend in.
3.
Not super duper awesome on those persuasions.
4.
4.
Are you down there as well? No, you're one.
He's up there up on the top.
All right. Okay, so you guys blend in. This is not hard. These guys are locals.
Hard enough, I was going to say.
Do I see can I tell that they just walked up and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" It's like does it look super chill?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so they get in line. You guys get in line. All these guys seem to have metal pans, but the lady is very helpful, and she gives you a metal plate and spoon to go with it. Now, I just want those back when you're done, boys.
I compliment her and give her a little wink.
All right. Is she a good cook? Oh no.
That wasn't the point of the compliment.
It tastes just like mine used to make.
Yeah.
It's like gristly and
Just enjoying
fatty and
myself.
potatoey. Yummy. Anyhow, these boys wolf it down. So what you hear is these guys are here. They're cutting wood for the fire, putting up tents. A couple of them are cleaning upstairs. It's like, wow, it's ladies' work. But they apparently are doing everything. They need it done by tomorrow. So tomorrow, some of these guys are coming back. They're going to be lopping limbs off trees and pruning some of the bushes back, and so it looks like there's going to be a full day tomorrow. And this fella's paying a lot of money. It's like, So apparently, whoever he is, he's paying a lot of money as well.
Is there someone organizing it?
Yeah, there's a couple of older gentlemen. They also look like locals. You don't think they came down from Boston.
Is there any?
Foreman.
Does there look like there's any kind of like secure like
No.
Boston people that are sort of overseeing? No.
No.
Okay. As soon as I finish my meal, I'm going to grab something I think needs to go inside, and I'm going to use the opportunity to go in and start casing seeing what the inside looks like.
All right. The building is inside is two very large rooms in the bottom floor. Basically a large living room, great room kind of built, and then a dining room area. Dining room area is covered with heads on the wall from hunting trips. These have been taken off and put on the tables, which are under covers. They're obviously being dusted or whatever. You can see there's been some repairs happening here, and you can definitely smell paint, as if they're painting, right? When you head upstairs there is at the back of the house. There's one great room, probably the master room, but then there's like easily a dozen rooms upstairs. Like whoever was here, they meant to bring out large family groups and have them stay here. Okay, it's an open concept. The beds again are all under covers. Some of them have been uncovered, and the mattresses have been flipped and stuff like that. And you can see the sweep marks where the worst of it's been taken, and the windows are cleaned. Yeah.
What's in the tents?
The tents have just been put up. So these are big party tents. Okay, like the kind where you might have at weddings or something like that, for something that's going to be happening outside. However, these gentlemen haven't set up anything except for the tents. The other thing too is in that round tower, there's a sitting room. The sitting room does actually contain a fairly extensive library. As you go in there, there's kind of like that musty smell of old books, etc.
From my vantage point on the lake, can I see any other docks?
Yes, there are a few smaller docks. There's no building the size of this one anywhere. You can see the twinkling of lights as evening grows across the lake, but not many.
And can I see, like, how high am I up there?
That from there, you're above the house.
Okay. So
Yeah.
can I see, like, with seeing the docks, can I see off the distance, like, any clearings that might be a road to those docks? Or are they
you can actually see small cabins sort of tucked up into the woods, but not like this.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
Hunting shacks.
What's the small circular building?
A gazebo.
Okay. And the barn / garage?
When you head out there, it was definitely once a stable / barn, so this building is obviously older. However, it's been converted into a fairly large garage.
And anything in there right now? Or?
No, it's it's converted into garage because they cobbled the floor,
Right.
so that it wouldn't be muddy for the cars to sink.
Is anyone doing anything near the servants? Like, can we?
No, the building still appears to still be closed.
Okay, so it'd be a little suspicious maybe if we went over there.
Well, okay, so these guys are. It's like, where do you want this? It's like, I put it over there. So
Right.
So no, not really.
We're gonna go check on the.
I'm gonna go just wander over. Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna act as if someone wanted me to open it up and
No
bring
problem.
some firewood and.
So the building itself is a fairly well appointed servant's cabin, cottage. Okay, you would guess looking in through the windows, you can see a half dozen beds inside, as well as like a small kitchen area. You think it's probably pretty comfortable. This cottage, by the way, is probably grander than the other cottages you see on the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. The door, however, is still locked. No one's gone into it yet. Yeah. And there is boards along the edges in order to, when they close it up, they
So they can't.
yeah.
Better not come and push it open.
Right. You could easily open it. It's just
Someone
mice out.
it'd be obvious.
yeah. They keep the mice out, etc. That's what it's for.
Do we have the sense that this building is at grade, or is there a sense that there might be like a root cellar or something?
You see no evidence of a root cellar, and you see no stairways down.
Okay.
The floor inside is flagstone.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Is that a fountain in the back?
Yeah.
It is a fountain. That fountain is silted up with leaves, etc., etc. It is not currently running.
Are there any names on the vehicles? Like, are there any, like, Joe's Glass Shop, etc.?
No.
No.
There is not. All right.
Can I look around upstairs and see if there's any likely spots to secrete ourselves? Like,
Secret yourself?
I'm gonna secrete a number 2. Yeah, exactly. Secret ourselves.
So the upstairs is basically 2 long hallways, linen closets at either end, and then bedrooms. So there are 5 guest rooms, 1 master bedroom, and then 2 other sort of subsidiary bedrooms for a total of 13 rooms altogether.
Wow.
It means something. Any attic or like pull down or like
How would they do that? This is like a very like it's a they get a lot of snow here, right? So
steep peak.
it's a fairly steep peak.
It could still be built.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just wondering.
Would they on a
Vaulted
cottage?
ceilings.
Yeah, so for this sort of lake house cottage, would they have ceilings in the rooms? I assume they would for privacy.
Barely insulated. Right? Like,
No, because you could still wall up, but
Yeah.
your peak could still go up.
Yeah. So I'm going to say yes. No, I'm going to say the walls go right to the roof.
Okay.
Like an exposed log.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's like a massive log cabin.
Yeah.
It's not made of logs, but
We get the picture.
yeah.
I'm gonna take my hammer over to the servants' building,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pop the flashing off the backside and unlock the door if necessary with my lockpicks, and we can flash a signal to these guys.
Okay.
Are there heavy blinds and stuff on all the windows? Are
Yes.
the windows all covered in?
There's heavy curtains. There are also Venetian blinds, pole blinds, probably for summer, winter kind of idea, right?
Probably all wide open right now to let light in.
Yes, and to air the place out. Yeah. The place smells musty, even when you've gone in, and the windows have obviously been open for a while. As you pull the flashing off, a car drives down the driveway. It is an elongated sedan. It looks very similar to something like that.
Do we recognize this sedan?
You do not recognize the sedan. However, it's a wealthy person's town car. Like there's a separate driving compartment.
We all notice this?
Oh yeah, well, headlights coming down the driveway.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Well, I make sure there's several workers in between me and any real line of sight, so that
Okay, sounds good. So the car is definitely a wealthy person's car because first off, it's not black.
It's totally Kittredge.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
Or the
Which will
butler.
be with his
burgundy
butler.
color.
Yeah.
And
taking both.
Butler
of
could be
them.
driving.
Pardon.
Would a butler drive too?
it pulls up out
Could
front. As it does so, 2 men get out of the front. Well, they look.
It's the
I hate to
German.
say the word thuggish, but they look thuggish. Okay, they're dressed in fairly fine suits. They have the trench coat on with definitely the city hats, etc.
It's not a butler.
Oh no. And then they open the doors, and 2 men get out of the back. One of them you recognize as Landry Kittredge.
Dun, dun.
Do I recognize the other one with my streetwise and area knowledge of Boston? And KS of Underworld. Knowledge skill.
You can roll.
Knowledge go?
Actually, make a smarts check, please.
8.
It's even better.
And you're welcome.
Super smarty guy.
That's why you have all the comments.
5.
5. You recognize him from the party at the Titus Club. You don't
Know him, but
know him, but he was definitely there.
okay.
You don't recognize him.
Do I know what diamond looks like?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so he gets out.
So I don't know him, but was he just a party goer? Did he seem to be like not necessarily butler right hand man, but someone who was helping out?
You think he's obviously wealthy,
Yeah.
right? So you don't think he's a servant of any kind? You don't think he's an employee?
Yeah.
An attendee.
We haven't had any run-ins with Kittredge yet, have we?
You have.
He's got weird bumpy things growing up.
Yeah.
Right, so he steps out
By
of the...
bumps, you mean the eyeballs, right?
Yeah.
No
I didn't
tumors.
say
The weird tumors. Yeah,
Weird
yeah,
tumors
that's right.
as he was
Yeah.
buttoning up his shirt. Yeah.
So this, of course, is Kittredge right there.
Tumor.
Right. And he steps out of the car, and as he does so, he's immediately congenial to everybody. Gentlemen, good evening. As promised, I have returned, and the work, it looks amazing. Good job, gentlemen. He turns to his. He sort of makes a motion to his friend. He's wearing like this beige cashmere overcoat. Like it just reeks of wealth, right? He then begins walking around and saying, where are you from, sir? Basically just sort of glad handing all of the workers. Okay, he's not making a point of talking to each one, but he's obviously making a point of being friendly to all of them.
Kittredge.
Yes. Okay. The other man, on the other hand, he reaches into the back. He pulls out what looks to be a doctor's bag. He opens it and begins paying cash to everybody. Right? Do you step up and accept your cash?
I circumvent Kittredge.
Okay.
Not that he would actually necessarily know me,
No.
but
Yeah.
I also don't want to draw attention to where I'm from with my
okay.
accent.
Gotcha.
And I'll go and gruntly and I'll take my money.
Okay. Fair enough. You take your cash. When you take your cash, it is, you kind of pocket it as you do so. It's like, it's enough to bump your wealth die back up to D6.
Woo!
Like the sum that he gives you is not a small sum. It'd be like it'd be like you doing a day's worth of work someplace and somebody giving you $500, right?
So all the locals are here.
Well, but I mean, like for grunt labor.
Yeah.
And he's doing that for everybody,
Yeah.
right? For all these
You go
guys,
get your cash.
right? Kittredge also says, and one more little surprise, gentlemen. And he walks around to the boot of his car, and he opens it, and inside there's crates of Canadian whiskey.
Yeah. The whiskey.
Okay,
Can I pick the pocket of his friend?
pick the pocket, as in his pockets or his bag.
I'm more interested in who he is than raw cash.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. That would be thievery.
Sure would be.
I'm going to say
You gotta get up close to him, so you might as well take your cash.
Well, sure. And there's probably people around, and like he has to turn around and stuff. Like I'll look for an ideal spot to do it. Right?
yes. Yes. Okay. Do
I'll
it.
even- 4. 4.
All right. So I'll make his quick notice check here. 5. How do you like your 4 there, buddy?
Would a tie not go in my favor?
I give you a target number, so that's the target number.
Oh, I see.
Didn't you burn through all your bennies last game too?
I did.
Didn't
Well,
even start
now would be a
fighting yet.
bad time to things not go well.
Okay.
For sakes.
Huh.
Can't reroll.
That'd
Yeah.
be Elan.
Hmm?
You don't have Elan, do you?
That's Elon.
That's an edge.
Yeah, no. I got streetwise and alertness.
What does the lad do again?
+2 on a reroll.
Oh.
That sounds pretty sweet.
It does. So you bump into him. Your hand sort of snakes into his jacket. You're unable to snag anything. Okay. As you do so, he's like, excuse me, huh? Pardon.
Yeah.
His accent is definitely Italian.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, sorry, the slippery mud. Man, apologies.
Okay. Then he's like, "You been paid?"
I'll be like, oh, only half day. Like I'll try and be honest about it.
Okay. He pays you the full amount.
Oh, I'll be like, oh, thank you, like so generous. I'll totally.
You can say grazie to thank you to Mr. Kittredge.
I'll be like, oh yeah, and I'll head straight towards Kittredge, and then I'll like peel off.
Yeah. So he's talking to everybody, and he says, so we'll be able to keep working, I hope. And
all night long.
with the amount of money that he paid, all these guys are, they're like, yeah, darn straight.
Renewed vigor.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, he heads back to his car after he hands out the whiskey to all of the fellows and hops
like a
back into
bottle
the car.
each?
What?
Is it like a bottle each?
No, there's about 40 or 50 guys, and there's 24 bottles altogether. Right, so
It's pretty good.
still quite a bit.
Booze, yeah.
Yeah, but he says this is for later, though, gentlemen. Right, work gets done first, and I expect you back here bright and early tomorrow. Pays the same.
Half day pays same.
So he moves to his car. Mr. Pez, if you'd be so kind. And the fellow jumps into the back of the car, and off they go.
Mr.
Pez.
Italian. So observer patrol.
Shoot out the wheels on his car.
Probably not a good time when you just paid everyone a lot of money.
Yeah,
They might actually
open up with
be
the
dear
heavy.
You
machine
survived
gun.
that combat,
Yeah,
but the worker's beating you to death. You
Yeah.
do not survive.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's probably more money than most of those guys have seen in like.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is at least a couple months' pay, right?
Yeah.
And it's obvious that he is not short of cash, and he is very interested in making this work go fast.
What if we cause disruptions to make it not go fast?
Let's set fire. No.
No. I actually have other legit ways of doing this. Is you have a bag full of tires and you have to come down a certain road.
I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, I don't.
Seeing Kittredge, I can see
But it
him
would
from the road. Do I
disrupt
recognize
everything
him
if
from
the cars
up where
can't
can I
move,
see
right?
that kind of?
I would assume, yeah. Like he gets out, it's obvious, right? Like his beige coat, and he carries himself with a certain.
Yeah. When I see all the commotion, then I'll go back to the road and head down to the house.
Okay.
As like I see everything going on. My
Go down and get your money.
curiosity.
Right?
That's crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
My curiosity's peaked. I have to go down to the house and see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
not
Well,
what I
you'll
was
get there
hoping they'd
as
do.
this guy is sort of saying hello to everybody, etc.
Okay.
By the way, the amount of money that he's spending is actually driving sort of this temporary loyalty from the people. So, like, for example, when one guy is like, he kind of circles around again, maybe trying to get paid again. Some of them are like, hey, you don't cheat this man, right? So,
Toasting them with their whiskeys.
yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So you head down. You probably get there maybe 2 or 3 minutes before he hops back into the car.
Okay. I have an idea that might slow things down a little bit. What if we said that we needed to clean the drapery and took all the curtains down? So that the house is not
how
obscured.
hard is it to like hang off a car?
Hang off of a car.
How
Unknown.
How good's your
Unseen?
agility?
Unseen, impossible, I'm going to say.
Oh, you mean just like jump on the back?
Hanging from underneath is pretty low to the
Yeah.
ground.
Because the real question is, where are these guys staying? It's not here,
Oh,
Oh,
good
you're
point.
thinking definitely not.
right?
I think they would drive all the way back.
2 hours to Boston,
Someone that is rich as Kittredge.
They have someone else drive. But would he?
maybe.
Yeah, he wouldn't stay in a hotel.
No, I don't think
too,
so.
Too
Yeah,
rich.
that's-
too wealthy.
Not the type of hotels.
Although we do
hotels
know
that's
where
like
the
this.
closest hotel is.
So you could check,
We
but
could check.
I don't think he would stay there.
Um,
Plus, he has drivers, so it's not like he has to drive.
so I would like to set up this the servant's cottage. I assume they're not going to bother with it. I want it set up so that it looks like you can't get into, but we can sneak into it and watch out of it on party night.
A hidey hole.
Sure.
What about opening one of the back windows so that we just go in through the back?
Sure. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
however it ends up.
So
being.
there's a door out the front. There's also a door out the back that leads a short walk to an outhouse underneath a tree.
There.
Done. Is there anything else we really want to do here? You know what's going on. It's going to go on all night. We can easily slip off.
We don't see any stuff. Or you didn't see any stuff inside.
How about I'll help clean the pond,
Okay.
and I'll be like hauling it down to the lake and dumping it, and I want a chance to look at the boats that are hooked up. Are they like seaworthy at all?
Are there keys in
Lake
them?
worthy at all?
Okay, so the boats themselves are actually covered, and they look as if they. Would you be able to know that? They look to be in good shape. You don't think that they've been left here for years because they wouldn't be in this good of shape.
Would it be a dock or like a boathouse? Like covering...
It's actually just a dock.
Okay.
It's just a wharf.
And they're actually in the water.
They're actually in the water. That is correct.
And are they powered at all?
They are. There are 2 powerboats and then a small, looks to be fishing dinghy.
What kind of like power boats would they had?
Way back then.
Yeah, what would they have had? Like outboard
Fast
motor.
Yeah, they have like little outboard.
They'd also have ones with built-ins. I don't know about how big the lake is, but like the guys who did the like high-speed Schnell boats between the Channel and World War II, those guys were all like rich boat racers, right?
Yeah. But it would be like key operated. It wouldn't be like pull cord stuff still, would it? Oh,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's keys.
So
Nice seats.
Yeah.
that's what you're looking like.
Okay.
Okay, so these are,
Would it be keys or it might just be a plug thing you like?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is key, but not the key the way you think it is. There's a slot that fits a specific shape of item. Okay, in this particular case, it's I know this from a boat. The key looks like a T, and then at the end there's like a little square, a hollow square, and you actually push it in and then turn it.
Okay, I know
Yeah.
what you mean. Okay.
And the reason for that is because with a key, the lock itself, if it's exposed, will get really
Right.
sticky and you can break the key off, whereas with the crank, you can't.
Okay. Can I look around the house to see if I can see any keys for boats? Would that be something that would just
Do you
be
have
like in the
occult
house?
still?
What's that?
Do you have occult at all?
I do. I do have a cult. Yeah.
Can we cover for you while you look in the library?
Good idea.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'll look around at the
See
books
if
and
you
see.
can find any history on, because this is Kittredge's like
Home.
family place, right? So it'd be
Yeah.
interesting if there's any family histories or journals or anything.
Yeah, I'll look around the library, see if there's anything noticeable.
Okay. The books themselves look like they haven't been touched in years. Okay. This is like an old family library, and the person who maintained that library died in 1912. So, right, that's
There's none that have like a handprint in the dust. They're all just covered in dust.
well. First off, they've been dusted,
Oh, okay.
right? So, but none of them look to be new. Like none of them look to be or used recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can make an occult roll to see if you recognize anything.
3?
You could spend a Benny to bump it up by 1 or to reroll.
He's pretty unlucky though.
Yeah, I wanted 2. I only got a 2.
Okay.
Not so you should.
Yeah, no, nothing really stands out. There are some sort of older books, right? There's several books on Eastern religions and stuff like that. The library is fully stocked with both, philosophical books, fiction.
It's a rich person's library.
Yes. Exactly. It's a rich person's library. All right.
Is it obvious where the keys are for the boat?
It is not. No. You can make a search of the house. It would appear the only thing left in the house was furniture, right? The books are sort of part of the furniture, but
Yeah, can I make a notice check to see if I
Sure.
spot it?
yeah. Go ahead, search the house. This is relatively difficult. Something small.
7?
7. You do not find the keys to the boat.
Green.
I would say at an appropriate time we leave.
Okay. And where do you head?
Back to our car.
Okay.
Before we leave, I want to go around and just ask around to the locals. Like, say I'm out of town. Is there any places to rent boats on this lake?
Rent on this lake? No, it's a private lake.
Okay. And then we leave.
Okay.
Flash me as you walk up the driveway.
So, Miranda, you are up in the forest and watching. I'm going to assume that probably prepared for trouble. You have the hunting rifle with you? Because you've hunted before, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. My pistol ain't gonna come.
Well, I mean, Edward was with her.
Okay.
He probably... Would you
Here,
have had
hold
your
my
shotgun
gun.
beforehand?
No, it's just in the car. I carried my pistol with me.
I've got my pistol.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So you are... Rifle has a scope. That's why I was...
Attacked by a bear.
Maybe I
We
have,
we could have left the binoculars,
That's
right?
fine.
Because
Yeah,
they're on
I'm
the
watching from way
observation
up
point.
there.
All right.
Yes.
I'm sure someone would let you. Yeah, you just sit up on this hill and just watch the ants.
You are... they're down inside. You guys are searching the building, whatever. You are in the woods and watching. As you do so, you can see lots of people sort of wandering around, etc. It's then that you spot behind the tent somebody duck into the forest. And you sort of watch them curiously. At first you think they're just going to relieve themselves, and you're kind of like,
Ooh.
all right. However, they don't actually stop. You're like, well, he's really going far into the woods. Like, he must be super modest. But then, as he sort of gets into the woods, he seems to be, looking around as if trying to find something. The light is failing, so he's sort of like a fleeting shadow. This is after Kittredge has come and left. And so, yeah, he's looking for... It looks like he's looking for something in the woods.
How long did it take me to get around?
Well, if you hustled...
I could go around this way and still remain hidden. If
Oh,
I
yeah,
could.
absolutely.
I would like to try to get closer to him and see what he's doing.
Okay.
I'll just start.
Are you trying to do so quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have you make a quick agility check. Those dice look dusty.
8. Nice.
Got there.
I'm astounded. I was expecting it to be 1s and 2s.
I didn't trip.
Does that explode?
No.
Only on
It's
an
a
8.
6.
It's got to be the high number for the dice.
Oh, that's a deep.
That's me.
Okay, so you arrive sort of at the far side. You cross what looks to be an area of patchy grass. This is about where you lost sight of him. Now, once you start moving, you of course lose sight of this shape moving through the forest, right?
Mm-hmm. Or is it like kind of behind the barn? Could I see him from? See if I can catch sight of him.
So first off, you don't want to be too close to the barn because there's a lot of workers
Yeah.
walking around, and you're dressed in your hunting clothes.
Yeah. Cool.
You like your tweeds, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and the trees are fairly dense.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you? What do you
I
do?
can't see him.
What's that?
I can't see him.
Go ahead and make a notice check, please.
Or,
No. In the gloom underneath the trees at the failing
So where am
light.
I? Like by that big tree?
Yeah, you're about here or so.
Yeah, like where he just I want to get closer so I can see him.
Okay. So you move forward now. Are you sneaking?
Yes.
All right. That sounds like a stealth check.
Totally.
Four. All right.
Crunchy leaves underneath.
No, it's wet.
It's wet.
Right. Okay. So you move in the dense undergrowth. You find yourself sort of misstepping and moving in the darkness, moving sort of maybe more clumsily than you'd hoped to.
So gonna get in trouble again.
However, what occurs is You stop maybe about here or so, and ahead in the forest, you see the shape. And it is who he is. He's dressed again in dungarees and a jacket. And he seems to be digging. With a shovel, obviously.
Just gonna watch that for a bit, see what it gets to.
All right, so he digs.
He's by himself. Isn't he?
He's by himself, and he's digging. As he does so, he digs the hole, and then he digs, and like he kind of struffles around with his hand, and he's like, "Damn it!" He looks at he goes to a tree, and then he kind of marks off a spot, and he begins pacing towards another tree. He stops.
He's got a treasure map. I'm just gonna watch what he's doing. I want to know what he's doing.
He digs a total of 3 holes.
And finds nothing.
Until finally, a man behind the tents, he comes into the forest to actually relieve himself, and he calls out to this fellow, "Hey, what are you doing?" Nothing. Just, and then he
Just wiping.
Clearing some underbrush.
he then walks back out towards the crowd.
Alright.
Did you count how many paces he walked out from every tribe?
Totally did.
9.
No.
And did you always go to the same tree?
Yes.
But different directions. Interesting. Okay.
Wait, always from the same tree?
Always from the
From
same
the
tree.
same tree, but different.
And walk towards a different tree 9 paces.
Yeah.
Do you,
Problem is, there's a lot of
actually
trees.
well, hold on. Can you make a... Do you have survival?
No.
You don't. Okay. Bummer.
Right. Well, I mean, that's fine. He's gone. I'll
Okay.
head back toward up and meet up with the guys. They're probably on their way out.
Sounds good. So where do you head back to?
Well, we flash to where Miranda
Yeah.
is to say we're going to
You
the
thought
car.
it was up there, yeah.
And then we get to the car, like, where's Miranda?
No.
Damn it!
And we'll wait a bit.
Okay.
I will wait a bit more.
Oh.
All right.
Is it a while?
You're just about to go get the shotgun out of the back of the trunk, and she shows up at the car.
Why didn't you flash me?
We did.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell them what I saw.
Sounds good.
What did the fellow look like?
He's wearing dungarees, wearing a canvas jacket with a flat cap.
Yeah.
So 80%.
Any accent?
All he said was, "Damn it."
Rain. Right. So she could kind of make out the words, but nothing more about the voice.
Even when the guy
Yeah, the guy
called
said,
at him and
"Yeah, what are you
he was
doing?"
like,
The guy
"What
who
do
called him had a Massachusetts
No, but he
accent.
answered and said a little bit more than.
Sure. Let's give you a notice check. Absolutely.
Or.
No, he
It's
seemed to be
not even
muttering
vaguely-
underneath his breath. All right.
All right, so we could check the hotel to see if Kittredge is there.
Yeah, drive by and then. I mean, we can stay at the hotel. If we don't need to sneak in tomorrow, we can just stay at a nicer place.
Do we steal his car if he's there?
Kittredge's car?
We could just check it, see if there's anything left in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
God, they're
Possibly.
not going to leave the ewer in the car.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
and they're
no.
not going to. I don't think he's going to stay at the hotel, but I think we should stay at the hotel if we don't need to sneak in or steal a truck or anything like that. Just have
We
a
don't need more info, really.
good night's rest.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Should we try and beat this guy to whatever he thinks is hidden?
Oh, right.
could, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, we should definitely go. It would have been late now. The general store's closed. The general store will be open on Saturday?
Yes, but
It's a Friday night.
yeah. It would,
Oh, you mean Saturday night?
We need a
Yeah.
shovel. If we're
Yeah.
going to go.
Oh, there's tons of shovels.
There's
There's
shovels.
gotta
There's
be
shovels everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just
It's
borrow
a construction zone, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Is there any clever way to find this? Could we have a sharp object and be stabbing into the ground or something?
We could
Would that?
deduce what he was trying to do. We could figure out what kind of trees he was walking towards.
So what are our leads here? We will have to get some sleep. Saturday morning will come. Is there anything we want to do overnight? The library was a dead end.
Is
We
there?
don't have a key to the boat.
Does everyone clear out of this house at nighttime? Did we notice?
It's quite late, but when you guys said you were leaving right after Miranda had her encounter, so there were still a lot of men working around the house. You don't imagine they're going to work all night.
Yeah, and the woods, like how far she was in the woods, was it dense enough that someone like on this side wouldn't?
Yeah, this is the wilderlands of Massachusetts.
So
right?
you could have a lamp out there and no one would see.
No, you'd see the lamp because it's dark everywhere, right? So the light would stand out.
You could shield your door.
How hard would it have been to sneak one of those bottles of whiskey out?
Theft, thievery. Could cause a brawl if you are caught.
5?
All right. Yeah, apparently it wasn't that hard.
So good.
Okay. The Burnside Hotel in a small town called Burnside.
Wait. Just
Dude.
before we leave site, do we want to leave someone to make sure this guy doesn't find the treasure?
Yeah, what could the Kittredges have? I mean, they're wealthy. There's obviously this massive property.
He's going to come.
Why
back
would
when
they
he
need
can.
to? It's obviously important if they buried it out there. It has to have some meaning.
Mm-hmm. And he'll wait for everyone to be gone to go back and look again.
Or to not be noticed again and just wander off.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to have someone out there. Who has? Do any of you guys have?
You let him do the work. And then we can
Wilderness
slap him on the
survive,
head.
like those kinds of.
I have survival.
I'm sneaky.
Sneaky notices what you're after.
I'm sneaky, I'm noticey, and I can fight. So maybe I should lurk there and I can club him out if he finds anything.
If you let him do the work.
That's not a bad idea.
Which means I won't be present in, like, to go to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But
Keep the whiskey to stay warm.
What did you? Maybe you should bring like the shotgun or something with you.
I have a shotgun.
He has his
you
own,
have
yeah.
your own? Okay. Oh right, you bought a shotgun.
Yeah.
And he sawed it off.
Right, perfect.
Well, I sawed it off badly. Come at an angle.
Yeah, I'll take what I need from the car to like stay warm or whatever.
Okay.
Or, like we'll turn the engine on and I'll warm up a bit, and then I'll head out to where she's reported is.
So as nights come on, they've actually built like campfires, etc., for the workers to do the same thing that you're doing. Okay, so you guys, Burnside Hotel in Burnside. Okay, this is about half an hour from the location itself. It's relatively easy to find. It's a small town, maybe 1,000 or so people. When you check into the hotel, the fellow who's there, he doesn't really even look up from the register. You know, he checks you in, gives you the keys, and you find yourselves in 3 amply appointed small rooms. There is a phone in the lobby if you need to call somebody, and breakfast is included with the actual hotel itself.
Nice.
You don't have to make a wealth roll. You're not buying anything. It's just sort of a staple of what you're doing. Okay, and you're not trying to stay in a fancy place, right? There is no limousine out front.
Would we have gotten 3 rooms?
What's that?
I don't
know. Would you?
know. Wouldn't she may have got her
She
own?
definitely
Yes.
would have gotten it.
But I'm thinking we probably just would have
Bonzi,
got
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Okay.
a double room.
You
Like
want
the
the couch?
romantic couples are.
Yeah, or you want the couch, yeah.
Oh, whoops!
Yeah,
There's
you want the
only
honeymoon
one
suite?
bed.
Over dinner and things, then I want to talk to Renee about what happened at the the Titus Club. Like,
Right.
you killed 2 guys. Like, what? How did?
Is there anything on the register they would like when they signed in they would have left out, or is it like uninteresting?
There are no names that you recognize.
Like, how did you keep your cool during all that? Like, I have training, and I was not shook, but that was extreme.
you know,
Renee.
when it comes to life and death, you shoot first and you ask questions later. There is no second chance.
You fought in the war,
The
right?
Yeah.
training cannot teach
Yeah.
you
So
this.
these 2 both fought in the
Yeah.
war, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
I talk it up a little arrogantly and
Yeah,
like,
I want to ask, like, you know,
Yeah.
pick his brain about,
Yeah.
like, how, like, you know.
I'll give you some things like it's
Okay.
shoot first.
Yeah.
Yeah. A hit is a hit is a hit.
Yeah.
so you are.
It doesn't
You're in the
matter where you
rain.
hit.
The rain gets worse. Okay, so you're now out there. Your felt hat. The front is actually tipped down. And the water's just sort of pouring off. Around 10 o'clock, the last of the workers puts out the main campfire, and then hikes up the driveway to their car. the driveway itself, like as he's going, he's got his lantern in his hand, and he's splashing mud. Right, like this place is. If the rain doesn't stop, it's going to be a bog tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. You sort of watch him go while lurking within the darkness. Okay. You don't have to wait long. After that, you kind of settle in underneath a tree. Just as you settle in on a tree, it's like, right, you're here, you got your coat around you, shotgun underneath your jacket. How am I here exactly? And just as that happens, like rain starts dripping on you from above. You're just about, and you see a shape carrying a lantern move out from the house. Okay. As you do so, it looks to be a guy, jacket, flat cap, dungarees. Got a shovel in one hand, lantern in the other.
I'll try and move to a position where I'm like not near the tree that reportedly he walked away from, and ideally off to the side so he won't
Go
accidentally.
ahead and make a stealth check, please.
I'll share my whiskey with you as we're.
I was gonna say, I have a couple drinks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I would have pulled the whiskey. That was sort of what it was. We're back in the
Plus
hotel room.
dense
and
rain. And
I feel we're doing
darkness.
like a good bonding
Yes.
session.
You kind
You're
of
asking questions.
You kind
and
of
I'm
lurk in the darkness.
Battlestar
Okay.
Galactica?
So he
no,
comes
it's a
out.
miniature game.
Oh,
yeah.
And as he's looking, like he's examining the trees, and he's.
The initials carved in it or something.
Yeah, and then he hooks the lantern on a branch. Goes to he chooses a tree. And he kind of puts it back to the tree, and then he marks out 9 steps. Kind of kicks his foot, moves the dirt.
I'm totally gonna let this guy tire himself out doing
All right.
this.
When you fight him later. Yeah.
He's persistent. Okay. He digs several holes around the first tree.
Do I get a good view of him? Like, does he take his hat off at any point?
He does. He's despite the fact that it's nighttime and raining. In the lamplight, he's steaming, right, from the effort of digging.
Coat's coming off.
He tries the first tree, and he's like, and you can hear him now begin to curse, right? Why did you bury it? Why did you bury it? You didn't have to bury it, but oh no, best to bury it someplace close. Yeah, great idea. Right?
Not talking to himself, just complaining, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so it's not a two-way conversation
No,
by
no,
one person.
no.
Okay, perfect.
He moves to the second tree, and 90 minutes goes by. Okay, long enough goes by that he actually has to go back to the house, refill the lantern, and come back. Okay, when he comes back,
While he's gone, I'd like to inspect the. Is it different trees he's pacing off from?
yes,
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a quick look at them and see if there's anything notable about them. Like, are they the same?
Do you have survival?
Yeah, I sure don't. Can't even tell if they're the same species.
Wow, they're.
But you know what?
They're green.
I have really good notice.
The
No.
bark looks
What do you
good.
roll if you don't have the skill? It's just a minute.
D4 minus
D4 minus 2. You can make a D4 minus 2.
This is gonna be it.
Yeah.
10.
Problem
8.
is it's a D4.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
right.
it was so exciting.
This one.
Sorry, man.
No, totally. Yeah.
I kind of wondered too.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
7
Minus
6
2.
5.
5. All right. Okay, so this forest, there's a lot of maple here, red maple, etc. However, the other thing you notice is there are also a couple of black oak trees, which from your very, very limited knowledge, you know are very rare in Massachusetts.
Planted on purpose.
Okay. And so you kind of look at it, and all the trees that he's been digging out from are definitely black oaks.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. He returns. You kind of hustle back to your hiding spot, and he returns. Right, continually talking to himself.
It's raining.
and complaining, and he is unhappy.
I'm gonna do something you're not gonna like. It's raining, right?
You're at the hotel.
No, it's right in where he is.
Yes.
Wouldn't there be new footprints around?
So much of the ground is disturbed. You're all wearing work boots. Yeah, no, I thought
I'm
about
sorry,
that.
Dave, but I was
No,
just sitting
no,
there
legit.
going...
If
Yeah.
it was
Legit.
snow,
Legit.
absolutely, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you return. He returns and he continues to dig. He digs for another half hour or so, and he's like, "It is not here. It is chunk."
Kill him.
Right.
Let him dig it up first.
So then he digs a little bit longer, and he's like, "Holy shit!"
I'm gonna race forward and
Right.
sap him.
Okay.
While he's like, the moment of triumph, I want to get him right when he's like, yes, it's right, clunk.
Stuff. Agility check on the mud.
Don't trip.
Oh, watch this go so poorly.
Be awesome.
Any bonus from the dark and wet and him being
Absolutely.
distracted? Yes, okay. So barely successful, maybe, depending on his notice.
Okay, let's roll. Let's see what the knockout blow rules are.
Yep.
All right, knockout blow. Fatigue, disarm, defend. Here we go. Character does enough damage. Okay, well, you definitely have the drop on him. So let's do a melee attack, please. So fighting. You have the drop, so that will actually be +4.
So 9, so I got my raise,
Yeah.
and I roll my damage. And it's 8, 9,
What
10,
did you
11.
hit him with?
A sap? D8 plus 6?
Yeah,
Brass because I'm strength is D8, so D8.
the sap is D4 for damage,
Um,
and then a D6. Yeah.
uh, 14.
Okay.
You caved in his skull.
Yeah,
Okay.
God, it's
Soft.
better to hit something.
Right. Okay. So you basically move up behind him. He's like, "What did tap tap tap?" Okay, and he drops into the mud.
Into one of his holes.
Nope, the holes aren't that big. Like what he's digging are maybe about plate size or so.
I'm gonna drag him to like a modest sized tree and handcuff him.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will use whatever I can to like put a gag through his mouth, and then I will
Okay.
check what he found.
All right. So you reach into the hole. As you do so, there is it's a
snake.
it's a shape. It's a rectangular, maybe about 18 inches long, about 6 inches wide, and about 4 inches deep. And as you pull it out, it is a metal-bound box of some sort.
I want to set up the lantern has like directional light, right? Is it shutter?
No. This is just a storm lantern.
Okay. Can I hang the lantern so it's like right in front of his face, or put it like right in front of him so I can be on the far side, kind of in the shadows?
You can. I rolled how long he's going to be out for.
Okay. So
How long do you wait?
well, I don't want him I would ideally be not identifiable by this guy.
Okay.
So once I've done that, I'll pull back into the dark where I need to be.
Okay.
And while I'm got my eye on him and aware the area, I'll open this thing and just see what's in there.
All right. So you turn the box over, looking for a way to open it. It's a simple latch with an old lock on it. The lock itself appears to be sort of turn of the century, so relatively simple. However, it's damaged from being buried underground. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, on the bottom, it says "Property of R. Kenzer."
It's a new name, isn't it?
What's that?
It's a new name, isn't it?
Not a name you've heard yet. Okay. And you can... I'll assume you break the lock.
I
Do you try
want to
that?
search this guy first
Okay.
and see if he has any ID on him or anything.
Absolutely.
Or a key.
Lockpicks. Or a key.
You might have a little old key.
He does
A
have.
manuscript bound with human skin.
He does have a relatively slender wallet that he
Okay.
carries. It has a few dollars in it, not very much, and it does have a miner's union card, or sorry, a lumberer's union card.
And a name.
Alfred Kenzer.
Curious. Yeah, I'll pop the lock
Okay. Okay.
with
You.
my hammer that I bought at great expense.
Yeah. The lock cracks off after a couple of blows, and the box opens. Inside, wrapped in a like a lambskin or something like that. Like it's a piece of leather, like a chamois. There we go, a chamois. There is a horn-handled knife.
Was there a knife when you were upstairs the last time? When you were taking
There
pictures?
was a
In the
knife.
butler's room.
There was.
Would it be the same, and would he recognize it?
It is not.
Okay.
No.
That was like a dull metal one. Does this one look like kind of backwoods, like hunting knife, or like is there anything sort of
Ritualistic.
odd and old about it, or like
Do a combination.
special inlay, or something? 7.
7. This is definitely an antique. You've never seen its like before. Rather than sort of the single-edged cutting blade that you would see like in a hunting knife, this is actually a double-edged blade. It is marked with some sort of sigil right near the hilt. It doesn't really have like a cross piece on the hilt. Rather the sort of like a small round knob, and then the horn handle. The horn as well is, although you recognize that it's bone of some sort, the bone is sort of a grayish black color.
It's demon bone.
Yeah,
Your good friend
This
Eddie
guy's
might know
gonna be
about the knife.
asleep forever.
yeah, you got him pretty good.
I have general call knowledge. I might know.
Your buddy Eddie might know.
How much do you want to drag? Oh, you don't have a car.
Oh.
Edward, did we arrange a pickup? We're having whiskey, so...
We were going to be back fairly early. We assumed he would just...
Servants. I'll drag him over to the servant's
Okay.
place and
Oh,
get
okay.
us out of the rain, and I'll
Okay,
I'm gonna set it up so he can't see. Like I'll put like a hanging or whatever, so it's like he can't see, and he has a
he's a ragdoll. You've
Yeah.
knocked him completely senseless.
My buddy fell in the woods.
massively concussed.
So what happens is, because you critted on your roll, and then you got 2 raises versus his toughness, I've multiplied how long he's going to be asleep. So
You've caused permanent brain damage.
when he wakes up, he's like, "Hey, he's lost his
developed a
ability to
stutter.
speak English."
one side is flaccid.
I remember
He's
nothing.
got
Who
a
am
stroke. Yeah.
Where am I?
Can I like put something like I'll put like a bottle on his lap, so when he wakes up and like tries to move, the bottle will fall and wake me up,
Sure.
and I'm gonna have a nap.
Okay. All right. So you curl up, heavy coat over you. You're used to sleeping in odd positions because, you've been trapped in attics while people have fornicated beneath you. So,
Not my best hours, but yes.
yeah. Okay. As the gray light of dawn comes, you guys are awakened by chickens or roosters in the town of the place you're staying. your gray light also comes. This fellow, he is still senseless.
Splash him with water.
The healing check, you might be able to wake him up. Or kill him. So I'm thinking if I poke him with a stick or this knife. All right. How early do you guys want to get back?
How early do we wake up? Well,
They were drinking.
yeah, we were drinking.
Make vigor checks.
Hmm.
Are we talking like a bottle of liquor?
Depends on like the night.
Depends on the
we're on.
roll here.
Did you know there was actually a liquor called corn liquor, and it was spelled Likker. And you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, that just sounds nasty."
Corn liquor's delicious. Have you had corn?
No,
It's very. I'll bring some over.
I got a 4.
my guy.
I also got a +2 to will check.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't empty the bottle. Probably about half of it. You both have a fairly resounding ringing in your ears, but you do wake up early because it's not like you're irresponsible, right? And Miranda's standing over you with her clothes on.
A quick aside: do you guys drink? Do you guys like whiskey?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I ordered stuff from Kentucky called Mellow Corn. It's legit corn whiskey. I'll bring some over.
okay.
Excellent.
Does it taste like dirt?
It's delicious.
No.
It tastes like buttered popcorn. It's really good. Yeah, it's good.
Since I didn't die in the weather overnight and I got some sleep, I'm going to evacuate this guy from the servants' quarters because I don't want him yelling back to where these guys would have been observing from the hill originally.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. And you wait for them to return.
You have a nice breakfast.
Yes.
Coffee and
Included with the
cigarette.
room. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, it's cool.
So,
we pack a little bit away and something
I'll
to bring to
eat
him.
my stale
Eggs and
crackers, right?
eggs and beans and 2 thick slices
I'll
of
find a way to pack some
sourdough
Whole
toast.
bread
Yeah.
toast.
I find a way to
with,
pack some toast and
slather
beans
with
for
homemade
away.
butter and
I'll like empty the little sugar packet in my mouth.
Don't worry, I'll pack you away.
you have a bun left over from last night that you put into your pocket. It's damp, but whatever. Okay. You return. You can get back by 7:30 in the morning if you want. The first of the workers started arriving pretty much just after dawn. So you're actually hauling this guy up the hill. The weather has not changed. So you're hauling this guy up the hill in the rain when the first of these trucks rolls in and the guys jump off and you hear the shouting begin and the work once again, the day takes over.
So what do we want to do tonight once the party starts? Do we want to try and be in attendance somehow? Or we were gonna hide out in the
We can hide out in the servants.
We can't hide out in the
and then
servants.
see what happens, like all the people coming in and observe all that kind of stuff before we make a decision.
We could try and steal a boat and float into or something, right? There's options.
Yeah.
There's options. You've seen where there's places with boats.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I was thinking more of an escape to get.
too,
yeah.
but depending on the approach, right?
Yeah.
All right. So whenever you guys roll back in, the work has once again begun. This time, the crew of people here working are not just the workmen, but there's also a number of women from town, etc., who have also come to do work for the day.
Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When we meet up,
You're a little bit... Oh, I'm going to need a vigor check from you.
I hand him the little plate I packed away and pass him the bottle of whiskey and say, "Oh, we missed you last night."
Okay.
6.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's
So
a nice semi-hot meal.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. It's warm from his armpit. But yeah.
Miranda, do you mind waking this fellow up? He suffered a bump to his head.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you reach into your bag, make a medicine check, please. Healing.
Double ones. He's dead,
Plenty
Jim.
of food.
I'm at 2.
No, that's true. I appreciate that. I'm appreciative.
And I'm just sharing the whiskey. What's left?
Oh wait, 6, 7, 8.
Which is about half
Yes.
a
All
bottle.
right. Yeah. Some smelling salts brings him around. He's like,
Clean
oh!
my teeth with
And he
the
reaches
whiskey
up
and
with his
spit it out.
handcuffed hands to his head, and he's like,
He's still handcuffed?
oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I assume so. And he's like, oh!
You handcuffed him in front?
Oh, easy. You got quite a bump.
Who are you? Where am I? Who am I? Actually, let's make a quick figure check for him. Okay.
I'll give a story about having fallen in the woods and you hit your head pretty hard. This.
Yeah, make a persuasion check.
Why?
Well, because he kind of knows a different story.
Does he remember?
Yeah.
Does he actually remember? Yes, sorry. Yeah,
Raises, yes. More raises.
Oh, 8. Okay.
7 plus 1.
That's a raise. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
Okay.
Easy.
That's
I guess
Then he kind of looks around. And there's like...
No holes.
a couple of workmen around him, and
he's
someone.
what's going on?
I'll lay.
You notice, by the way, he doesn't immediately call for help.
I'll lay my hand on Miranda's shoulder and be like, "It was worth a try." I'll be like, "Alfred."
Healthy.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and be a bit menacing about this. I'm gonna be like, "So you've been digging on some private property. I think it's best you come clean with the nature of your digging."
Do you want to assist on this?
Oh, yeah, do intimidate, please.
Looks scary.
No, I wouldn't have it with me.
Success. We outnumber him.
Yep.
He's
And he's handcuffed.
Okay, he when you sort of you glower at him, and he actually, even in the sort of in the wan light, he pales, right? And you can see him swallow heavily, which causes him to wince in pain once again. Okay. He doesn't say anything. Well, you haven't asked him anything.
Yeah, I want him to come clean. I'm like, what are you doing digging on Kittredge's property? Men like Mr. Kittredge pay a lot of money not to have unusual problems dog them.
All right. He says, I know. And so did my aunt. Mr. Kittredge obviously didn't tell you what happened here in 1912.
Mr. Kittredge isn't in the habit of sharing information he doesn't have to share. His money does his talking for him. Why don't you tell us what happened in 1912? You seem to have a chip on your shoulder about it.
The air goes out of him, and there was a party here 13 years ago. Pretty close to the same time of the year. My aunt came to that party, and she never came home. My father sent me here to find something in the woods. He said it would help me understand. I don't know what it was.
So your father put you up to this nonsense?
Sort of.
Shall we go have a chat with your dad?
He smiles. He says, "You're welcome to try." My father has been right in the head since whatever he saw that night. He talks about it in his sleep. 9 paces from the black oak. 9 paces from the black oak.
What was the name of the crazy guy who used to own the...
Which one?
That's a good question. Who used to own the house?
Yeah, we did find that out, didn't we?
The house in town was owned by a fellow by the name of Vincent Stromberg. He died in 1919. No, he didn't die. He was
He's in the same asylum.
Yes, he was committed.
I just wanted to know if the last
Did
name
you
was
show
matched.
us the
It's
night?
not.
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
I'll pull it out.
Okay. You gonna kill me now?
I mean, like, you dope. This is what you're digging for. Has it illuminated the situation 12 years ago? I'll hold it up right in front of him so you can see the sigil.
Okay.
When I see it, I want to be like, Obi, let me see that. Like,
Okay.
like,
It's like,
Use his real
does this?
name.
Whoa! Look at that.
no, Obi, short Obi.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give you such a baleful look.
You can make an occult check. Yeah, there is no look of recognition. What is it like?
What else did your dad say about 12 years ago?
Not good.
13 years ago.
Use
9
your luck
paces
as
from
well.
the oak tree. 9 paces from the oak tree. The answers lie 9 paces from the oak tree.
Apparently they don't. I'm gonna unlock him.
Okay. So
I'm gonna help him up. I'm gonna say,
so just so you're aware, he does not know that this thing, like it's super apparent in his face. He has no idea that what you're showing him was what was 9 paces from the oak tree.
oh, I'll make that clear. I'll be like,
Okay.
this is what was 9 paces from the oak tree. This is what you found last night, right before I clubbed you out.
I knew I didn't fall in the forest.
No, you're.
What if we get under Kittredge's good gracious when he comes by? Like, we found one of the workers digging in your property. We found this.
I'm gonna help him
You
up.
saying that out loud?
No.
I'm gonna unlock him and
see.
let him up, and I'll be like, listen, Alfred, we're investigating Kittredge. There's strange shit going on with him. We would welcome any sort of additional insight into what's going on. There was strange rituals happening within Boston. We think something strange is going to happen tonight.
Okay. I'm going to have a persuade to make it not sound like you're insane.
I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and say, the more you help us, the more we can help your aunt.
Persuasion.
And do I
So
come up with
you're helping him.
Yeah. I'm trying to make him seem like we're actually...
Yeah, so
trying
go
to-
ahead and make your help roll first.
Persuasion. No.
Okay.
Wow. 4.
All right. Why are you guys even talking? Okay.
I tried.
Yeah. Listen. I've been watching the place all winter, but we didn't think they were coming back. Not until yesterday when suddenly they hired every worker in town and tried to sort out the old lake house.
Were they staying here?
Who?
Well, you said you didn't think they were coming back.
Well,
You didn't think anybody was coming back.
exactly.
I'll say that.
Okay, so let me. So he tells you that his father, 13 years ago, his aunt disappeared at the party that occurred here.
Right.
Okay, and his father came and something happened to him that night. They found him ranting and raving the next day, wandering along the road, and
The night of the party.
the night
father came.
after the party.
The night after the party.
Okay.
Okay.
And William Kittredge was found dead the next day. Okay.
Who was found dead?
Landry's father,
Oh, Landry's father.
right, at the lake house.
Because he died there, yeah.
Okay. So what happens is his father was committed, right? And now he lives at home, and he raves. Okay, and so obviously he tells you this story, much more dramatically than I am, but he says, yeah, at nighttime he says 9 paces from the black oak. These are the only black oaks in the area.
So basically, when Dad Kenzer comes here, that's the day/night that Kittredge
Died.
Senior dies.
And he goes nuts.
But he died of a heart attack. Well, that's the information you got from your research. Right?
Anyone else go missing that night?
Yeah, a
He
whole
knows
bunch of
that?
people. Bunch of people up from Boston.
We're up for Boston.
Like, do we know rough numbers here? Like dozen, 2 dozen,
Hundreds.
No,
13 to match the 13 rooms in this place?
So the police said that there was the sheriff said that there was an accident on the dock and some people fell into the lake and drowned. Their bodies were never found, though.
Maybe boat is not a good idea.
People from Boston.
Know that.
Probably, was this a high society function? Of course it was. This is a high society party. This the exact same thing is happening again.
13 years later.
I'm gonna be like, listen, Alfred, what are you really hoping that is gonna happen here?
Why? I didn't think anything would happen. It's just when my father started spewing this out, look for the black oak, 9 paces from the black oak.
Is this a sudden change? Like this just happened the last couple days? Or is he
Yesterday.
been-
How far is your father from here?
Well, we live in Rentham, right down the road.
Why don't we show him the dagger?
Yeah, let's go visit your dad
Let's go for a little drive.
and get some breakfast.
All right.
Listen, I'm really sorry about that.
I don't know how much this will help with the headache.
Brings those headaches.
I'm gonna be like, I've been shot at and almost run off the street over the last
All
week,
right.
so I'm a little bit trigger happy.
All right. So so you take him into Rentham. As you do so, there are people arriving to work here. Okay, and it's quite a crowd of people that are arriving. Like yesterday, there was a lot of workmen here. You'd guess there's easily 70 people here today.
We can get him out. He's an injured man. He can make it look worse.
Do we want to leave someone behind just to sort of watch the dealings today?
No, you're just gonna be cleaning all day. We got hours, man.
No, I just wasn't sure like who was if the butler showed up or.
We're gonna be coming back. I don't think this is like Rentham is what, like 15 minutes away, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go there. We're gonna talk to this guy. I'm sure it's not gonna consume like too many hours unless we all collectively go insane at his revelations. Then it could be 8 hours.
They're all walking down the street.
Okay.
Another 4 to find where we are, and the
Yeah.
party's over.
Okay. You put him into the car. He doesn't seem super anxious, but he's intimidated by the lot of you, right? He doesn't seem really super anxious to expose his father to you, but he's obviously something's disturbed his father, and he's anxious to get to the bottom of that. So you drive up the road to Rentham, and where he is a small cottage just off of the actual crossroads. It looks to be like a retirement cottage or something along that line. This is less of a house and more like a large cabin is probably the best way to describe it. When you go in,
Single room type thing.
yeah, single room. There's a single room. The living room's in the front, kitchen's in the middle, bedroom's in the back. Right, that's front to back.
Squat, pot-bellied fireplace.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And as you walk in, he knocks on. He says, "Just if you give me a moment, he can be a little." He doesn't finish that sentence. He opens the door. He says, "Hey, Pops, you there? There's some people who want to talk to you." And from inside, you can hear 9 paces from the black oak. And some incredibly fatigued voice sort of mutters out of the darkness. Pops? What? What? Oh, Alfie, yeah. What? I must have been sleeping again, sorry. It's like, yeah, there's some people here that want to talk to you. Voice is instantly suspicious. People? What people? We found what was 9 paces from the black oak. What? 9, it's what you were saying, Pops. 9 paces from the black oak? So he
I'll be
with
like,
that he kind of steps aside.
Mr. Kenzer, it might be easier if we come in and talk
Yeah.
to you about the nature of our business.
All right. From across the way, you see like the curtain of a cabin sort of. You turn and you see the curtain kind of close as if neighbors are sort of watching these four strangers outside of a cabin. Okay.
I do a little perimeter walk around the small cabin, just noting exits, windows.
Yeah, the front and back door.
Yeah,
windows.
look. That's like, okay, where are the neighbors? Is there anyone
Yeah.
watching this place?
Oh yeah. Well, no, they're
Yeah.
neighbors.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Right?
yeah, is there a guy with a car? So,
No.
yeah, just standard sort
Vicious
of.
dog type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll we have the whiskey. I'll be like, would you care for?
This is not an infinite bottle of whiskey, right?
Well, I didn't drink any
hasn't had
this
any.
morning.
There was
I'll
still
be like,
half.
would you like it? Would you like a shot in your coffee, sir?
he. I don't know you.
You
No.
sure don't.
Not a big fan of, or not a big friend of people I don't know.
I'll
Not after that night.
yeah. I'll be like, would you mind if I sit down to explain my business, or would you prefer me to stand, sir? I'll totally be like the talking to a client type thing, prospective client.
All right. He kind of slightly moves his head towards the dilapidated wooden chair.
Yeah, I'll pull up a chair and I'll say, we're investigating Kittredge. He's been up to some questionable activities in Boston, and we feel that he's come up here and he's going to continue these questionable activities. And after meeting your son, it sounds
So
like
he
this
reaches out a
isn't been-
shaky hand to his coffee, which is cold because he was sleeping, and he kind of.
I'll shake the bottom end of the whiskey.
It's the demon's brew.
Put away.
Okay.
I'll say the Kittredge has been running a nightclub and having unusual parties in Boston.
I don't know Kittredge.
These are
His father would come up in the summers. That's the only Kittredge I know, and he's dead.
well,
He's
it's
passed beyond the Black Gate. What were you saying?
I'll say I think his son might be up to the same sort of shenanigans. As a matter of fact, he's got a bunch of socialites coming up here for a big party. I feel like the same thing might be repeating itself.
Who's coming up for a big party?
Kittredge's son.
Kittredge's dead. He's passed beyond the Black Gate. Sorry.
I'm gonna take out the picture of like the ewer and the blade and everything,
Okay.
and I'm gonna slide that across the table and be like, I don't suppose
This
you
is a really blurry.
yeah,
terrible
I don't suppose you
photo.
recognize any of these items that were.
So he's like, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to. This guy is obviously slightly unhinged.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a clock. This is the clock. Okay. When you ask questions, I'm gonna require first off that you make a persuasion roll. Every time you fail a persuasion roll, I'm gonna remove one of these clock tokens. Okay. And the persuasion rolls are going to become more difficult as he becomes a little bit more and more animated in his whatever's happening to him. Okay, so who would like to begin?
I'm so good at persuasion.
What's that?
I'm so not good at.
I was just gonna say, like, as I see him asking questions, I want to like touch him on the shoulder and be like, "Obi, let me handle this for a second," and walk closer to the old man.
Okay,
And
he sort of squints up at you. You think probably the prescription on his glasses is way out of date because he's really squinting to see you.
okay, you said that we're in is the cabin like really small?
Yeah. You would say the entire cabin is probably about the size of this room and the next room put together.
Okay. I want to. Can you just give me a second? I just want to talk to my colleagues for 1 second. I'll pull you guys aside. He obviously seems a little shook up. Maybe you guys go wait outside for just a couple minutes and let me talk to him. So it's not so stuffy in there. It'll put him at ease a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
I'll lean
You
in.
take your shotgun and leave.
I'll lean in and I'll be like, if you need bad cop, just nod at me.
Okay.
Do you want the blade?
Huh?
Take the knife too and just-
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll hand him the blade and the pitcher. The
Okay.
terrible pitcher.
So you head outside. What do you do?
I'll go outside.
I will roll a cigarette and smoke outside.
Okay. How about you?
Do you want me to stay too? I'm just wondering if like the pretty girl in the room could be of.
You're not sure your attractiveness is going to be much help with this guy, but you still do have a decent
I
persuasion.
do have a nice bedside manner.
The other thing too is another thing that you can use to help here is there is a skill called psychology, and I don't know if any of you have it.
I do.
I have
I do.
psychology.
I do, and I'm charismatic. I have 3 rolls.
Damn, we should have been using that.
Yeah, psychology can you can diagnose what somebody's suffering from, or
I'll stay for medical backup.
Okay, and Alfred, you stay too. I want your.
you don't think Alfred was going to leave.
No. So I'll sit down
Okay.
in the chair, maybe scoot it forward a little bit.
Did we
Okay.
hear Dad's name? Did we ever ask the Dad's name?
Henry.
Henry. So it's not the initials. It was an R, right? R, which could have been the
Is
aunt.
there a rocking chair out front?
What's that?
Is there a rocking chair out front?
There's a bench. Close enough.
I get myself comfy,
All right.
light myself a smoke, and
Okay, so as you sit down, a couple of the local cabin dogs sort of start wandering over and begging for food.
So Mr. Kenzo or Henry, which do you prefer?
What is it you want, young man?
Look, I know it must be stressful to say the anniversary of his sister, right?
Yes.
Sister's disappearance must be stressful. I know what you're going through.
Okay. Persuasion.
Okay.
Go Eddie!
Woo-woo!
10?
Okay. Sounds good.
With deep sympathy in his eyes.
I just wanted to let you know, I've gone through the same thing. My sister went missing under strange circumstances. And we're just trying to help a colleague to find out what's happening to someone that's close to him. And we would just like your help in any way possible. Is there anything you can remember about that night a year ago? A year ago? No, 13 years ago.
Yes.
Is there anything you can remember?
All right. So you, your voice sort of it gets beneath this sort of almost like a shield that he has of, and for a moment there's some lucidity in his eyes. Okay, and he says, Agnes, she worked in town. This is back before Prohibition, and she worked at the Gavel. Mr. Kittredge is up for the summer, and he liked her cooking. There was a big party, and Mr. Kittredge, he bought her a new dress so she could attend as a guest. She looked beautiful that night. I had a bad feeling, though. I told her not to go. It's just something strange about the folk who were coming. They were odd. Really odd. The next morning, she wasn't home. I went calling on her, thinking that we might go to church together, but she wasn't there. So I went up to the Kittredge's house. That's pretty much the last thing I remember. I was wandering on the road afterwards.
And after Agnes disappeared, did the police investigate it all? Any of the locals look into what happened?
Sheriff. Share was bought and paid for. Mr. Kittredge has a lot of money. There's some folks that came up from Boston. Old Pinkerton folk. Private police. Asking for some of the guests. But then Mr. Kittredge was dead and the house was boarded up and they didn't find nothing.
And sorry, so he went a little bonkers. What was his? He went to the house to check on her. And
The next morning.
and then he
Well,
couldn't
she wasn't
remember?
home the next morning.
Yeah.
He went up there
and then couldn't remember what happened.
and then something happened and
Okay, so she went missing, and then you had a loss of memory. So how did you? So then you told your son. When did he tell his son about? When did you tell your son about the oak tree? That started recently. The mention.
tree 9 paces from the black oak. Persuasion roll, please.
Did I reroll my persuasion?
Sure.
4 is a success.
6 is
6 is
exploding.
better.
11. 11's pretty sweet.
All right. So you got your 2 questions. Right. So when you say oak and whatever, he obviously make a psychology roll, please. Actually, you can help him with a psychology roll.
Yes.
Do I reroll both of those?
Yes.
Okay.
6.
And you just take the highest.
And
12.
so
Keep
roll that-
going.
roll that
roll
one
this.
again.
Yeah.
One more time.
18.
20?
20.
Plus 2.
Just
Well, I
22.
had 6.
I know you add it. You add depending on what you roll. You add 1 or 2 to his roll.
20. So
I carried
4
him.
raises.
He's not alone inside of his skull.
Okay.
There is definitely another dormant but dominant personality. And it seems to you can as a psychologist or with your knowledge of psychology, perhaps this is just super obvious. His voice drops in timbre. The pacing of it's different. There's a broken old man, and then there's something very angry inside of him. You have a funny feeling it's something angry that knows the answers that you want.
Huh.
Dave, I sometimes feel your character has some anger in him. And you
So-
went for a little walk yourself.
I'd like to address the other voice there.
So we need to talk to that other guy.
Piss him off.
I wouldn't have
We
any
can't
kind of
offer any ideas, Ken.
I wouldn't have any antipsychotic anything, right? Sedatives or anything in my bag.
With your doctor's roll, I
I
would
was-
suggest with a good roll, you could administer drugs in such a way as to become an antipsychotic.
I kind of want to I want to sedate him so that if we do access this voice.
I have a funny feeling
Would-
if you sedate him, the voice will
Would
become harder. to
hypnotism
talk.
be like something that is routinely used by psychologists in this time?
Hypnotism is actually an edge.
Oh, okay. Well,
So now, not.
So
Because
yes,
I
but
haven't
no.
studied that. I just wonder if I was have something in my bag that would help separate.
Henry, is there someone else in there?
In where?
You keep talking about a tree. You keep shouting about it. Are you okay? Are you feeling okay?
What are you talking about? I'm not talking about a tree. What tree?
Okay, I slowly.
But that said, as you do so, his son comes forward and goes, "Dad, you've been talking about the black oak all night and all yesterday. What do you mean, what tree? I was out all night digging because you told me to go dig."
Okay, and
The voice changes. "Did you find it? Did you find it?"
Okay, I'll slowly pull out the knife and show it to him.
There.
Sedative!
Okay. He
Tries to stab me with it.
no.
You're still holding it.
Yeah. No, but he lunges forward to steal it from your hand. Okay. So, what is your parry?
parry. Oh, 4.
That
Do you
it?
roll?
You
What's
don't
your
roll.
fight? D4?
Yes. Oh,
It's
bad
gone.
news.
It's
My-
gone.
My what?
11 versus your parry of 4.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's a passive number. That is,
have
That's
to
the
be-
target number
yeah,
for them
target
to hit you. Yeah.
that's right. All right, so you are you take out the blade, and as you do so, there's a momentary pause, and then his eyebrows furrow, and like a shadow, he is on top of you. Okay, and the blade is wrested from your hand. From inside the cabin, you guys suddenly hear a crash. Okay, and you kind of step back, so he wrests it from you. As he does so, his stance, he lands on top of you with all fours. Okay, and he crouches there with his legs down, with his hands on your chest, and he pulls it from you with just a brutal strength. Okay.
Okay.
The two of us trying to burst through the door at the same time.
Mine!
Stop.
Mine again! Okay. And we'll go to cards.
Battle the black thing.
Mm-hmm. Are you quick? Are you quick?
I'm smoking, Craig. I'm not quick. I'm smoking.
Ooh, ace. Okay.
I'm getting stabbed.
No. He suddenly lost his thing in triumph and bolts for the back door.
Uh-oh.
As he does so, he doesn't run. This is an old guy, okay? What is propelling him forward is something animal. He leaps off of you, crashes through the table, over the bed, and he crashes out through the back door. Okay? You hear a crashing inside, and then suddenly some sort of scuffling, and then something from behind the house. The dogs suddenly start barking wildly.
Can I shout as a free action?
Where's Renee?
What's that?
I'm in front with you.
We're just hanging
Yeah,
out.
I was
I'm
sitting
gonna
on
yell,
the
like,
bench
"Back
out
door!"
front. I never thought I'd have to go to the back door.
Can I,
But I know where it
shout
is.
as a free action?
What's that?
Can I shout as a
When
On
is your
your turn.
activation?
Yep.
Sorry.
Queen. I'll
Uh,
take your card.
sure.
Do you delay? Do you know what's going on? Do you run in?
I open the door,
Okay.
and as soon as I see it, I'm going to yell at him around back, and I'm going to charge through the house.
Okay. So you charge through the house, empty hands. What are you doing? Yeah. The son, he kind of drops back like, what the hell?
Is there an impromptu weapon I can grab on the way by? Like a broken board, a bottle? I'm not
Pound of
wanting to
nails.
necessarily pull a gun out.
Right.
Gun over the mantle.
I'm going to draw a card. Okay. On black, I'm going to say there's something that you can find. The higher the card, the more effective it's going to be.
Cast iron frying pan.
Is it a cast iron frying pan?
It is cast iron.
All right.
Just
yeah.
like my mama used to.
Yeah.
Just like my mom used to cook on.
Okay, so you grab it as you run it. The back door, by the way, it's just sort of recoiling from snapping back. Okay, and as it does so, you can actually see this guy loping
Yeah.
ahead of you. Okay. Yes, that's queen. Now we're on 7.
How far do I make it? Like, am I at the back door?
Yeah. So we're now into chase. So what'll happen is after this action, after I know the initial positioning,
Okay.
then what we'll do is we'll actually set up the chase cards.
Yep.
Okay, I will. I'm still on the ground, and I'll pull my pistol out. Like that's my first thought is to get that out of the
Okay.
holster. And then I will assure, as I pull my gun out, assure Alfred, like we'll do everything we can to get your father home.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
As I'm
We'll
ready-
bring him back.
I have a gun.
and then does ready my pistol count as an action?
It does, but it doesn't count as a move. You can still.
Okay, I'll bolt for the
That's a
back door.
quick.
Okay.
You are quick.
I'll take your
Work.
card. Obadiah. Crash. Renee's burst inside. Back door, back door!
Which direction does the back door face onto?
straight back.
Woods. South. Does that help?
I'm just wondering, so like on one hand I'm like, well, maybe someone should jump in the car and like peel after this. On the other hand, it's like I don't know that I would like situation I don't know if that would actually be useful.
So the road is ahead of you around 50 feet or so, and that's the crossroads. This behind him is just woods. If the road doubles back up there somewhere, you have no idea because you haven't searched the roads.
Yeah, I will sprint around the side of the house
Okay,
and try and see what I'm running after and orient myself and chase.
Because we wouldn't have known he would go straight out.
Yeah.
Make sure Eddie is all right. Did it hurt you? Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Then, like no big claw marks through your chest or anything.
No.
He seemed mostly interested in retrieving the weapon. Okay. So, we'll put down cards. This is you guys. Okay, so you're out the back door. Okay, so... well, most of the cards are pretty easy. What happens is these are the obstacles that you face, right? Okay, so this is Renee. Renee, you're going to be right here. Okay. Who's at the back door? You're at the back door, and you're beside the building. Okay, so you'll be red and green. Okay, you're red. You're green.
Okay.
Okay, and then you.
I'm just kind of behind, still in the living room.
Yeah, so you're still in the living room.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the beast.
and that's
Whatever it is.
it's
Black
the old
beast.
guy.
Yeah.
Kenzer
Okay.
Senior. Henry and whoever our Kenzer is.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So now we'll do cards again, and
All the aces.
all right. So you are going to go first. Ace of clubs.
Okay.
Oh, it's morning time too, right? It's like
It
light
is.
out. Like,
Yeah.
But raining.
It's still raining.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy, like you can see his cardigan and his, and his sock feet, and he's just booking it away from the house.
Okay. Well, I want to chase him.
Okay.
Is there any way to sort of know which way is he like making a straight line? And if I'm looking, I was like, is there a way to cut him off or like shorten the distance even better? Like, is there some sort of knowledge check I can look at the terrain and go, okay, he's going there and he's going to have to come back a bit, and so if
Like survival-ish.
survival-ish
Yeah.
or
Could you do that? So it's going to be athletics to chase him.
yeah.
So your chase actions are change positions, evade.
He's probably asking to make a knowledge roll to give him some sort of
Bonuses.
vague bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I if you're looking to cut him off,
Would my navigation come into
no, it'd be survival. Survival would be the role you're probably after. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it's not possible just because this guy lives here. He knows this area. Even if this person isn't him, he does know the area.
Yep, that's right.
So trying to outguess him, I think, is probably going to be difficult. Sounds like you're going to try and change position. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Okay. So that is an athletics check on hearts. There is no penalty, so you can go ahead and roll. 4. All right. So you move up.
Okay.
Okay. To be the same space. Okay. So let's move to the next card. That is your action. So you are chasing. If he does not lose if you do not lose position on him on your next action, you will be beside him.
Okay.
Okay.
10.
10. Okay.
I'm just gonna hold.
Are you
I don't see anything I can do right now.
okay? So you're not going to chase.
No.
Okay.
Search the
So,
cabin.
Yeah.
okay.
7.
7.
This might be a long shot. Can I appeal to the human in him and try and slow him down? Like yell after him, like Agnes wouldn't have wanted you to do this. Like stop, Henry,
See,
stop.
I'm your shot already.
Ooh.
I like it.
I like
Cause
it.
a negative
Me too.
to his actual.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it's a persuasion roll.
Okay.
What I'm going to suggest is that you can confuse him, aka shake him on a raise.
Okay, but I have rerolls because I'm. Will that work? My charismatic.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go, Eddie!
I have to rewrite.
You have to explode to be successful.
And I can't re-roll or re-roll with these.
No, the charismatic's a free roll, so
Okay, so I can.
absolutely you can.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
That's pretty low odds.
It is pretty low odds, but it's also a pretty difficult test,
yeah.
right?
I thought I'd try.
No, but not to get a 1/6, like rolling.
Actually,
yeah,
what was the
success.
highest you rolled?
Fours?
Fours.
Double fours, yeah.
Double fours. Okay. So what happens is I would roll his spirit, right? And if you beat his spirit by 4, that's a raise, right? But the highest you rolled was 4.
So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't. Okay.
Your boss,
What if you critically fail?
double ones. He turns around and attacks us. With
Eats
his
us all.
psychic power, he turns into like the Dark Phoenix and burns us.
Dark Phoenix.
Okay. So this is a spade. So spade's also no modification. So he rolls his athletics.
Critically fail.
Yes.
Ooh, you tripped.
Capital.
What did you roll?
2
3.
and 3.
3.
Great. Do I want to? Sure, I've got lots. I haven't spent any tonight. Ooh, there it is. 9.
Problem.
All right. So he will move forward 2.
Jesus Christ.
He's so fast.
All right. 4.
Tracy. Tell me 1.
1. Okay, so
Red.
you are
Red like a shirt.
I'm wearing red. Red.
okay. Yes, that's everybody.
Yep.
Okay. No. You're quick.
No, I'm not. I'm quirk.
He's quick.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was looking, I was like, you are
I have a
quick.
quirk.
No, wait, that's quick.
I hit on
You don't
every
get a quirk
roll
when
and
you're
I
in
see,
combat?
even unconsciously.
I'm preparing.
That's
you.
why I was like, when the Geralt gave me the food, I was like,
Continue
oh yeah,
running.
think this is amazing. You know, it's,
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm probably going to fall behind anyways.
Oh, yeah, you're not in the chase. Is it? No, it's you next.
So I am next. He makes an athletics check.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So Diamond. Diamond's -2. So that's 3. He does not change position. Okay. So he bolts into the denser brush, and it slows him enough that you don't lose any more ground on him.
I act exacerbated in my earlier attempt to not do anything.
Okay.
And then I give chase, like, oh, shit.
Okay. Roll athletics, please.
4.
You're
4.
exploding. You're 4.
no.
No,
Oh, is that
yeah,
2?
it's this.
Yeah.
All right. So what occurs is the spade has no penalty on it. That gives you 1 maneuver, so you move 1 forward. Okay.
Good, because I would have fallen back, right?
Yes.
Oh.
If there's ever a 5 distance between you and the person, you are out of the chase.
And I will keep chasing.
Okay. Roll it.
Yeah, get
Here we go.
there.
9.
Oh,
2
you
up.
move forward 2. Okay.
New cards.
Smell him.
Okay. So
And you have
Getting
the
close
skillet.
to Jack.
I know I do.
here's the deal. He's moving into the bush. This is our clock for the chase. Okay.
Jacks are coming up somewhere.
Aha.
Oh, you got it.
Everybody gets one? Now,
Oh, we got a
question for
penny?
you.
Thank you very much.
Sweet.
When you draw a joker, everybody gets a penny. Question for you. 1 action or 2? 1 action at +2 for everything? Or 2 actions at just 2 actions?
2 actions, I think. It'd
I'll
be
take
better
your
for
card.
this.
Because you could pitch up and tackle, possibly.
7 and Jack. Giving you the 5. 9. And I will take a...
Oh no! Bitch.
I will take 1 action
+2.
at +2, and I will act first.
+2, -2. It's a wash.
It's a wash. Actually, with the diamond. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to spend one of these to actually make it successful and move one forward. Waste of a joker.
Jack.
Jack is next.
Got it.
Okay, I'm going to... On his action, I'm going to move this across. So that was his action.
So I move up 1.
Okay, you are red.
Yep. Go for 2. Yep. Eddie.
Yeah, come on, roll.
7.
7 with
You
that.
could burn Benny for +1 to get you 8.
Did that go 2?
Yes.
That would be 2.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You're now within shouting
green,
range again.
Green.
Green.
I'm right.
Okay.
And shout at my
You
psychology
again.
at all.
He's burning.
Psychoanalyze him.
I will spend... should I reroll or do... I better reroll because I'm the farthest back.
Yeah, get there.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I
One.
just moved up 1. Yep.
All right. And last but not least,
4.
so you're on diamond.
-2.
Yeah.
-2. So
You won't move unless you want to...
you... Okay.
Oh, no.
You still
Alright.
don't move.
So I don't know exactly what I do here. I have to shuffle the cards, but I got cards on the table.
Why don't you take those 2?
Yeah.
And then you got the maximum in there.
All right. 2 more rounds to catch him before he disappears into the bush.
Yes. Yes. Expecting the Joker again.
So diamond, I'm at -2. That explodes. So that's 9.
2 more.
This comes
-2
up.
is 7.
What's that? Oh, right. -2 is 7. You're right.
That's only 1.
So 1.
Oh.
Okay. Who's next?
7. Eddie.
7. Okay, I'll bolt.
Do it.
Chasing.
Did you remove one of your counters?
5.
5. Eddie is green.
Did you say 2 was shouting distance or 1 is shouting?
2.
That'll get me out.
What's that?
Yeah.
That'll get me out
That'll move you forward 1.
into another diamonds, but at least I'm moving.
Okay, and that is, sorry, the blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll advance me 1.
All right. All right, so he is, he's
Do or die time.
basically, he's cleared sort of this low stand of brush, and he's jumped forward, and now ahead of him lies sort of an open clearing in the woods, and he is moving as fast as, well, inhumanly possible.
We are terrible at chases. Just like to point that out.
We're 0 for 2 so far.
I need the Joker so I can long range therapize him.
Make him run backwards.
4. I will go last. All right, now's your last chance.
How far can one shoot?
What's that?
How far could I shoot?
This is short range. You are running, however, full blast, bore, so you're going to be at -2 to the shot.
Plus he's shooting 2 distance, so wouldn't that be medium?
No, medium starts here
Oh, okay.
because of foot range, right?
I'll delay.
Okay.
6.
Oh, me next? Okay, I'll shout after we get
Long range therapize?
Yes. Henry, please stop. And then, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're all. Come on.
Oh,
I can reroll that, can't I?
Can't reroll a blunder.
Okay, let's draw the nature of the watch.
I hope he turns around and attacks you, because that would be great.
That would work.
That would really work well for us.
Well,
It couldn't be that good though.
that's actually a botch in our favor.
So you're green.
Yeah.
Who's blue? You're blue?
I'm blue.
All right. So you duck underneath the bush. You push the branch out of the way, right? He's like, Henry! And literally, As he's running through the brush, the branch snaps back, catches him in the throat, knocks him off his feet. And I'm just going to take this little guy right here.
Okay. Hey, Charlie.
I'm watching out the window. Oh, I'll make tea.
Next, I guess.
Yeah.
Long range tackle. Yeah, I get there.
7.
So you are on a diamond. So that will move you forward 1.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
Because spending 1 doesn't actually do me anything. So.
It does not. Yeah, okay. And so you're held. You're held. I put my card in here by accident, so I'll act on the 4.
Oh wait. Before he disappears while he's in voice range.
Don't we have one more?
Do we have what?
Don't we have one more after this? Because it'd be the last one you're taking it away from.
Yeah, so if you guys get a card, you have one more action. So you have to beat him on the initiative.
Yeah.
Our luck's got to come up eventually.
Yeah.
So the theory goes,
It's
right?
a game of numbers. It has to happen.
I'm gonna. I guess I'll be keeping pace with them as I'll try and yell too, long range. I'm gonna.
Do you have psychology?
I do. I have a D4.
Okay, so yeah.
I
So
heard
this is actually
that, yeah.
persuade, but
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Sure, persuade. I'm gonna yell at him. I'm gonna be like, I'll be like, Kenzo, we want to take Kittredge down too. We can work together.
That's your yelling
Yeah.
this through the forest.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Kittredge is out hunting.
yeah. Yeah, that's if I roll double ones, right?
All right. Take your card.
We tried. How many rolls did I take? Like 6?
A few.
All right.
He doesn't listen to me.
So that is where we are. So
You need a joker.
he does. The
It's tempting to try and shoot him, but I don't know. We're too close to 10.
That was sort of why it's like broad daylight shooting. It's not like someone
His son
shooting
will
at
hear.
me. Yeah. It was,
okay. Here we go.
Should get this. Oh yeah, I'm out of it. That's it.
And you were done. Okay. And me.
Joker. Oh,
Ace of diamonds. So I act first, and he flees into the forest.
yeah.
Our knife.
way to show up the daddy.
I just tried to talk to him.
I'm gonna turn on and be like,
I mean,
what the hell just happened, guys?
I mean, like bending and panting.
Yeah.
well, I'll
leaning
catch up to you
against
first.
a
Like, what
tree.
the hell just happened there?
So a 70-year-old man
I'm gonna be like,
just
"Eddie,
sprinted
fucked
into
it
the
up
forest
again."
out running here.
Freud sucks.
He's probably
Freud
going to the
did-
lake house. We'll just catch him there.
Okay.
I'll like look way back at the house we just ran away from, and like I'll just like I'm gonna sit down for a minute. Just,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're like, how old was that guy? All right.
Where can he possibly be going?
Oh, that's a good question. What direction was he running? Was he running towards the Kitchener's? Or, yeah, place?
Vaguely. Yeah. Sort of in a general
He's
way.
totally going back to the Black Oaks.
Could work out in our favor. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should just let him go up again.
yeah, totally right.
Okay. What's your next action? Yeah. So you head back.
What was she doing the whole time we were chasing?
I'm watching out the
She's
window.
making
Yeah,
I'm gonna walk back to Edward and be like, "What the hell
I
was that?"
I didn't. I tried, but
Edward!
I don't know. What
Edward!
I'm
I'm gonna grab him by the cuffs and pull him up because he's probably sitting in the muck, like having gone with me. I'm gonna like, don't you know how to control your goddamn suspects? Like, you're supposed to be trained.
Yeah, I'm very sheepish.
And I'll come up, and I'll walk up, just like, what the fuck just happened, guys?
Yeah.
Why was I chasing an 80-year-old man through the woods?
Okay.
Give me my goddamn
Have I
photo
found
and
anything in
knife.
the house?
Knife? Oh, right.
Yeah, he's got the knife. Took out the picture.
Wait, what?
Pictures on the table.
What do you mean he's got the...
So, Alfie, you haven't done that before.
No.
Right. So Alfred is kind of like,
How long has your goddamn father been training?
well, what did you do?
Yes, Eddie. What did you do?
My father has trouble getting out of bed in the morning.
I have a way with words.
Is there anywhere your father might have gone?
Well, back in that direction, some distance, there's an old rail station. It's been deserted for years. The railway they don't use the railway anymore. I know that he and his brother, they used to work in the yard there, and he would go out there sometimes and drink and smoke his pipe and talk to his brother, who's been dead for like 30 years. But okay.
What's his brother's name?
Was it Richard? Or was Richard?
Richard's daughter.
Yeah. Can you show us where this is?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Let's go try and get your monkey agile like father.
Before we leave, I would like to look in the dad's bedroom and see if there's anything. Since he's been crazy, if there's like scratch marks or written like anything in. Is there anything in the bedroom that might look suspicious?
Fair enough.
Or
Sounds like a
something that this
notice check.
Creature would have been
Or,
scratching
any
books or
namesakes of his brother Richard.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Can I help? I'm good at noticing.
Are you going with Henry?
Oh, we're leaving right now. Yeah, hey, catch up with us. I'm going with Henry.
Yeah, okay.
I'm assuming I would go with you.
Or
I leave my cast iron here.
Okay.
I thought about throwing it at one point.
That would have been awesome.
or if he's just been recently.
Well, I was like, what are the chances?
Yes. Okay. So you search through his room. This is the room of a man who has relatively few possessions. The walls are not freshly painted, but they seem to be relatively intact. Underneath his bed, which you search after, I assume Alfred leaves, right? Because Alfred immediately forgets about anything except his father, right? Like something obviously is not right here. Okay. Underneath his bed, he actually has an old suitcase. Well, and this is like one of those traditional old suitcases, brown sides with stickers all over it from, right?
Continental America.
Exactly. In opening it up, it's obviously a suitcase of mementos. Okay. And inside you see like a bundle of letters with a tied wrap, postcards with a tied wrap, and then things like an old sailor's hat. It looks like the knickknacks of a life. In searching through the postcards are from Dickie to his brother Hank, and they seem to be from all over the world. Okay. You notice all of the names of the places where he's been, though, are all ports. And you kind of get the idea that maybe his brother was in the Merchant Marine or something like that. Okay. Same with the letters. The letters are they're sent from Dickie to Hank, but also they also include Lizzie and Agnes and like a variety of different names, all sort of bundled together with this leather cord. Okay, and lastly, there is in the box there is what appears to be Richard's sea journal. Is that the best way to describe it? What's that?
We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, it's big. Like it's obviously like a bound leather book, but also it's got papers and stuff stuffed into it, right? And yeah, so the first journal page is 1895. 1895, is that right? 1885. And it seems to be that he has just given up on trying to be a lumberer because he can't stand living in a small town anymore. And this journal was given to him by his father because he's going to attempt to join the Merchant Marine. And then the next journal entry, about 90 days after that, is actually I'm sailing from New York and et cetera, et cetera. The book is dense with tightly written writing in a very poor hand. The fellow who's writing it, obviously he's very desirous of keeping a journal. However, his handwriting is atrocious. And as you kind of flip through it, you're like, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you find it. It's going to take you some time to digest it.
I'm going to just take it with me. I'm going to throw that in the... You guys are all gone now? Left? Front to left?
Yeah. We probably were like, Miranda, hold down the place in case he comes back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you find in the room.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you forgetting something? You're alone in someone's house.
She's still in the book.
Did you find anything you like that you'd like to...
I'm taking the suitcase with
Oh,
the
okay.
whole thing.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
doing all back in and taking the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just making
He's just
sure.
wondering about your kleptomania.
Yeah.
Right, there's nothing of high value.
Okay.
Nothing pretty.
How about like a memento? Like a little
The frying
spoon
pan
or
is
something?
Taking the whole suitcase. Yeah.
This is a beautiful frying pan.
Yeah, the cast iron
Cast
is
iron
very
skillet.
nice.
High
Right.
quality.
He leads you through the brush. It takes about 15 minutes or so. Sure enough, this direction that you're headed is definitely the direction this guy was running. And eventually you come to a dilapidated, formerly whitewashed building. The name of the actual station is washed out, but the actual station is there. It's like something station. Okay, the roof is partially collapsed. And as you approach, you can see the old iron rails leading up to it. As you approach, though, there's actually like a flutter of birds that actually suddenly take wing from inside of the building itself. And you see loitering near there, looking confused, Henry. As you approach, you can hear him call out, Dickie?
All three of us went after him. Maybe we should flank him.
Because this guy's quicker than he looks.
Yeah. I think we should probably.
Yeah, we'll like lean in. Yeah, let's spread out a bit.
Okay, so Alfred suddenly bolts forward. Right? Dad!
We'll spread out.
Okay. Again, his glasses were lost in the chase.
One of you guys lead. I'll go flank
Me-
because I'm not gonna go talk to him.
I'll tell Alfred, like, be easy with him. He's obviously gone through something.
But he's already gone.
Yeah.
Dad!
Is he visibly carrying the knife?
I'm like, ah.
Yes, it sort of dangles loosely in his
Okay.
hand.
I'll
And like I said, like now his shoulders again kind of hunch. He's standing up.
I'll head up with Alfred, and
Okay.
I'll try and keep Alfred between me and the dad.
Okay.
And I'm gonna totally like slide my sap out, like.
Okay. He says, "Oh, Alfie, how did I get up here?" And you notice as he walks that his feet are bleeding. Right.
Okay, I'll tell him. Look, Henry, just have a seat on the ground. Your feet look worse for wear.
Who are you?
I'm one of your son Alfred's friends.
So, Dad. Okay, it's okay. Come on home, Dad.
It's okay, Henry. Just have a seat. Just sit down.
Okay. So sort of confused. There's no prompting, no intimidation or anything like that. He sits down on one of these dilapidated benches that were part of the station. Did you see Dickie? I could have swore he was just here.
Who's Dickie?
So that's his brother. So Alfred mentioned he'd sit down and have a smoke, right? Here?
Yes.
And talk to. I'll offer him a smoke. I'll say maybe he'll show up. Would you like a smoke?
Yeah, that would be great. His hand shaking. He suddenly realizes that he's holding this knife, right? And he kind of puts it down beside him. You know, he's like.
I'll like
right?
light two and give him one.
Okay.
And I'll sit down beside him and I'll be like, "Your brother usually around here?"
So from where he was standing, and the birds flared out of the building, like, would we know that the birds flared from him, or could something else have spooked him?
You think he spooked the birds?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, that's fair.
All right. Yeah. So he's
As I'm flaking, I'm looking around just to make sure.
Alfie doesn't normally bring his friends by. I don't remember you. I don't know how. I'm very tired.
You've come a long ways. I imagine you don't walk out to the station very often to talk to your brother anymore.
Oh no, not in years. Not really since Agnes died.
Maybe your brother has some things he'd like to share.
No. Yeah. Sorry. My brother Dickie, he died. I can still hear his voice, but it's not really Dickie, and I know that.
Well, what do you imagine that Dickie's saying right now?
Make a persuasion check.
Is Dickie a sprinter?
Seriously.
The voice he thinks Dickie is his.
Ooh. 10.
All right. Yeah, so he's, you kind of detect a bit of an edge in his voice, and you're like, oh, crap, I don't know whether I can chase this guy again. Okay?
I totally want to be sitting, like, near the dagger, so I can, like...
Yeah. No, the doctor told me I don't hear Dickie. He's not saying anything.
I mean, like, those head shrinkers, fat lot they know. Yeah, I'll be like, just let it out.
Into the voice.
I'll be like, half the time when something's talking inside of you, it's just you trying to unburden yourself. Let it go, man. You've carried it too long.
All right.
Imagine you're here with your brother. What would he say right now?
Okay.
Got a raise. That'd be enough to get
Yeah.
to talk to himself.
No, I know. All right.
Death, Carol.
Yeah.
What do you suppose he'd say about that asshole Kittredge?
Yeah, he says, "The eater, it must not feed again. All this way I've come."
Oh.
Yeah, he's like,
I'll be like, so, I imagine the dagger would help deal with the eater.
yeah. Did you bring enough for everybody? Okay.
I'm still waiting for my wine.
Imagine the dagger. Only the kiss can still the sleeper.
Dickie, what's the sleeper?
I'm gonna be I'll be like
The sleeper. What's the?
Okay, so that's
who's
two
the-
questions.
Oh, sorry. There's
So
a
I'm
clock
gonna need,
over there.
yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
I'm gonna need I'm gonna need another persuasion check. You got your raise.
Up, Eddie.
yes.
So that's one raise. So somebody want to give me a persuasion check to keep this guy talking?
As the net sort of closes in closer.
I'm kind of like, around.
There. Overdue. Keep roll that
19?
6 again. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
Keeping him
I
calm.
believe the question was who's the sleeper?
Yeah. Who or what is the sleeper?
The eternal liar, that which comes from beyond the cosmos.
Great.
I'm gonna need a sanity check.
Oh.
From all of us? Like, how much can
Everybody
I do?
who's listening, this is a spirit check, and we decided to go gritty on the spirit checks.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So there will be no Bennying your spirit rolls.
Great.
I'm trying to roll high here, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
4?
Four's good.
10.
2's not good.
And would that be a will?
What's that?
Would spirit be a will? Like a will check?
If spirit is a will check.
Then I'd be 12.
Nice.
You don't scare me.
Okay. You should have a sanity stat.
Yeah.
What is it?
5.
5. Okay. You are. Okay. So you hear this voice, and something resonates against the back of your psyche. This voice echoes out of this old man's body, but it is not the voice of his brother Dickie. Okay, he might think it's Dickie, but it's definitely not Dickie. Okay, and whatever it is, it's old and it's mad, and you think it's mad at you. Okay. So what you can do is you can put you are shaken. Okay.
Okay.
This means that should you continue to be in the presence of whatever it is that shook you, you'll need to make another sanity check. And should you fail, you can actually become. Yeah,
Am I like paralyzed or I'm just like freaked out?
you're freaked out. Yeah. So shaken in this case is it's like your lips are glued shut, right? You cannot act.
I'm gonna bolt up and like step back from a bunch, and I'll be like holding my like cigarette, and I'll drop my cigarette and just like keep walking back, and like I'll be like unholstering my weapon, like pacing away from him.
Okay. And what'd you roll?
4.
4. Okay, so it's a success. Right. Okay. All right. So, who was talking? I believe you
I
were.
asked that question.
Yeah.
Did you pick up the dagger?
He did not. He was shaken before
I
he
was
could.
planning on it. I was sitting right by it. I was gonna like palm it off, and I just
Couldn't.
have GTFO'd basically.
Yeah.
Can I just take a step towards the dagger?
You're standing right above him in conversation. So if you take a step towards it, you'll stand on top of him.
You could probably sit down where
Yeah.
I was sitting, and you'd be like right beside.
I'll
the
take
dagger.
his spot.
gonna
Like,
sit-
as he gets up, I'll take his spot.
Okay. You're still sort of lurking behind
I'm sort of earshot close. I'm the bolt guy.
him. Right?
I'm
Kind of
probably looking
warming
at him.
up,
I'm probably looking at
stretching.
him, wondering. I'm probably wondering, would I see similarity to when she went in the morgue?
No.
No,
No,
okay. It's
they're-
sort of a different. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely different. You both sense, though, some sort of presence which is hostile is probably the best. Angry.
How did Alfred react?
So Alfred is actually a little bit inured. He thinks his father's schizophrenic, right?
This is just normal.
He's actually a little bit insane himself, you think,
Oh, okay.
from listening to the voice all the time.
Would I be concerned by how he got up in his thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, wouldn't you be?
Yeah. So
Right?
probably what's happened is I've seen this and I'm like, so I'm moving over to see.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be like, oh, what's going on here?
Crazy eyes.
I'll counsel him.
I'm gonna be like, get out your gun.
Yeah, and I'll make eyes at Renee like,
Get out my gun.
yeah, like focus up, kind of, and tell Alfred, maybe we should bring your dad home.
Yeah, good idea. Come on, Poppy. It's cold out here. Here, lean on me, Pop.
Okay, as soon as he starts to as soon as he stands up and his back is to me, I'll reach for the knife.
Okay. It would appear that Henry is exhausted, right? And so he's like when his son picks him up, he's basically carrying him. Whatever just happened, Henry's still a really old guy, right? And he just ran through the brush like a gazelle. Right?
Yeah.
And so, what you see on him is like, that's exactly how my grandfather would be if he just ran, 3/4 of a mile at top speed.
Okay, I'll pocket the knife slowly as to not get attention.
Trying not to make any noise?
Yes.
Sounds like a stealth check. Shing! Yeah, okay.
8? Yeah, 8.
Yeah, okay. So you slide it up your sleeve.
Yeah.
And, distractedly, he just sort of wanders away.
And I'll help Alfred, shoulder on shoulder.
Okay.
Help him get his dad down the road.
Henry ruminates on he sort of his voice is exhausted, right? He doesn't speak in that voice again, but he's you definitely it's it's okay, Dickie. Whatever it is, I'm sure you're fine. Let's just go home and get some sleep. I'll be good tomorrow, Dickie. We'll get some coffee. Alfred kind of looks at you guys like,
This is normal. Yeah.
sorry. Right.
I'm trying to shake it. I'm gonna be grabbing him like, hey, let's.
Yeah.
Is that infant bottle of whiskey still on?
All right. So now, what occurs is shaken. You have to unshake. If you botch in your spirit check, you gain a permanent level of insanity.
Capital. What are the chances of that? There you go.
What?
So what, is that like a minus 170?
Yes.
And does that reduce
So,
my
yeah,
skills
so-
all the time, or is it just for my spirit checks?
It's I'll give you the exact rules. We're going to wrap up the game here
Okay.
shortly, but I'll give you the exact rules so that next time you play, you'll be like, oh, great. Okay? So you lead him back. The four of you are totally convinced that something lives inside of Henry, preserving his life, and he's barely clinging to sanity. Okay? You're not exactly sure what that is, but you are pretty sure that his son tells you that when he was a child, his father wasn't this way. Okay? My dad was fine until that night. The day we found him wandering, that's the day he started talking to Dickie. So, leading you to believe that whatever he saw or did that night probably led to
His condition.
this condition. Okay? So you get him back to his house. You have pocketed this blade. Okay? Again, its origins are definitely, it's not just a hunting knife, right? It's something else. And you find yourself, I don't know, what do you do?
I would like to psychology on him and see what's up with you.
Okay.
Psychology on him. He's giving me the weird eyes. He's got freaky eyes.
Okay.
If I can determine anything about what's up.
I don't think I want to talk about it.
How's your relationship with
You
your
don't seem
mom?
real-
I'm totally gonna stonewall you. Like, there's nothing wrong, I'm gonna say through gritted teeth.
Okay.
Pale face, shaking
Oh.
hands.
I don't know
Alright.
what's wrong with him.
So that's where we're going to call it for tonight. So we're going to call it Obadiah has now encountered some otherworldly. Well, you've all encountered it. Obadiah reacted to it. You have recovered something buried in the forest outside of Kittredge's lake house. And obviously, some big fete or party or event is about to happen. And hundreds of people, not hundreds, but dozens of people from around town, etc., have been summoned to prepare what appears to be a last-minute party. And that's where we'll pick it up next time. The day is about half gone, by the way. By the time you get back to Henry's house, the day it's probably approaching about 1 in the afternoon. You spent some time chasing him through the forest, some time actually talking to him, and then ambling slowly back to the house with an 80-year-old man in tow.
While you're reading the journal.
Yeah, and taking time. So, thank you very much for joining us. This has been The Torment of Anglesey, and we'll see exactly what happens 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks, I think. Yes, everybody?
I believe so.
Okay.
Soon,
And, thanks for joining us.